Division Championship Series from White House Field. It's YD and Harwich. YD with their backs against the wall. Here's we get ready to start game 2 from White House Field. Harwich took game 1 against the Red Sox 5-1. Final 2 days ago before a rain out yesterday. Rain came over Cape Cod and took out both final round matchups in the Eastern and Western Division. Hello, everybody, and welcome to White House Field. It's Brian McLaughlin and TJ Mathewson here with you today. TJ, YD had 11 hits in Game 1 against these Harwich Mariners, but they were only able to muster 1 run on the scoreboard, and now today they're facing one of the best starters in the Cape Cod League in Jacob Polish out of Stamford with an ERA under 1 on the season. What's the offense got to do today as we look to extend the season for the Red Sox?
Well, if there's one thing that YD could count on in these playoffs, it was the offense. You look at both games against the Orleans Firebirds, you have 7 runs on 8 hits in Game 1. You have 11 runs on 13 hits in Game 2. And then in Game 1 against Harwich, more of the same, 11 hits, but only 1 run to show for it. 14 runners left on base. 8 of them were left on in scoring position. An offense that we were used to seeing drive-in runs early in ball games, early and often, pad the lead, and being able to hold it early for a shakier pitching staff was just not there against Harwich in Game 1. Or in every spot but the runs and in the fielding errors, of course, YD outplayed Harwich. But instead, the 5 errors and 4 unearned run for Harwich came back to bite YD, and just the constant blunders with men on the base paths, just unable to get that hit with 1 out, 2 outs, no one out. And the downfall for YD and puts them in a tough spot here in Game 1.
On the other side of things, it's Ryan Hare, the starter tonight for YD out of UNLV. Hare has an 0-3 record, 4.26 ERA on the season. TJ, what can we expect from Hare in his playoff debut tonight?
So for Ryan Hare, he's not a guy that's going to give you a lot of length. The 2 starts this season his starts this season, he's started 5 games, so this will be a 6th. He's not gone longer than 4 innings in any of his starts. Length is not something he's seen up here on the Cape, and it's the opposite of Polish, who's gone 6+ innings, 4 of his 6 starts on the season. For Hare, he's just got to be in the strike zone and try and get through at least those 4 innings. The bullpen's already thin enough for YD, and yes, this Harwich offense has struggled in these playoffs. We'll get to that more as they come to the plate in the first inning. But as this Harwich lineup struggles, the YD bullpen has struggled as well, and you don't want to give that struggling offense an opportunity to tee off against some weaker arms in this YD bullpen, which is already as thin as it could possibly get.
YD, one of their biggest struggles against Harwich in Game 1 was on defense, TJ. 5 errors. They're back to a more routine, regular defensive setup, I'd say, today. Wyatt Young, Noah Campbell, both back in the lineup and up the middle. The double play duo and 2 All-Stars return to the middle of the infield. Does that shore up the defense today, and how important is the defensive side of things for YD in Game 2?
Well, it's big because we saw Sam Hall at shortstop last game, and he just didn't look. Sam Hall and R.J. Yeager, we've seen them both at shortstop, and they just haven't looked as comfortable at that position as we've seen Wyatt Young look all season. He was one of the 3 best defensive middle infielders with his counterpart today in Hal Hughes in that infield. At just every play, Wyatt Young has shown great range and a really accurate throwing arm and makes all the routine plays that we saw Yeager kick a couple last game that led to a couple of opportunities for Harwich to score some runs and put the game away.
Looking at this one, TJ, YD, it's a must-win to keep the season alive. What's your key to victory for the Red Sox?
Well, you got to get on Polish early. You really do. This guy has been the best starter in the Cape League this season. 2/3 of an inning away from qualifying for the ERA title, which he would have had less than half of the guy who won the ERA title this year, Mason Black from Brewster. So it's going to have to get on Polish early. If you let Polish get in a groove, he might go 6 innings, and then after that, you know what comes in after. It's probably the hard-throwing right-hander out of Notre Dame, Joe Boyle, who will probably get the ball to clinch this Eastern Series if Polish is able to get through at least 6 innings and keep the Red Sox at bay.
A must-win tonight from White House Field for your YD Red Sox. They need to win 2 straight against Harwich to keep their season alive. We'll have the starting lineups and first pitch for you when we return. This is Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at White House Fields in Harwich, Massachusetts, Jacob Polish is on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. It's Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Polish, the southpaw from Stamford, had 6 regular season starts, went a total of 35 innings on the bump for the Mariners, and had an ERA of just 0.77. Here's the YD lineup this evening, sent out by head coach Scott Pickler. Brad Beasley leads off in center field for the Red Sox. Riley King hammers left-handed pitching, is in the 2 spot at third base. Austin Wells, he's been the 3-hitter all season long, is in left field tonight batting third. Tate Samuelson, red hot in the playoffs, bats in the cleanup hole at first base for the Sox. Noah Campbell, the switch hitter, back at second base tonight. Wyatt Young makes his return to the lineup, the all-star shortstop, bats 6th. Noah Cardenas bats 7th. The catcher out of UCLA has also had a great start to the playoffs. Jack Thomas Wold gets his first start in postseason play. He bats 8th, doing the designated hitting tonight. And Andrew Eister rounds out the order, batting 9th for Pick's squad in right field tonight. Great crowd here on hand at White House Field. It is 77 degrees, partly cloudy at first pitch time. Polish, the big 6'5" left-hander from the windup. First pitch to Beasley. Check swing in there for a called strike, and we're underway in Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship. 0-1 to Beasley. First pitch coming in at 6:33 Eastern time. Second pitch popped up Beasley, foul territory and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, the YD lineup. Beasley, King, Wells, Samuelson, Campbell, Young, Cardenas, Wold, and Eister. No balls, 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Beasley from the lefty Polish. Here's the 0-2. Fastball misses up and away to Beasley, a ball and 2 strikes. Beasley 4 for 10 so far in the playoffs, but he has scored 6 runs thanks to 5 walks. Here's the 1-2. Awkward swing. He did go around after a fastball up in the zone, and that's strike 3. Beasley goes down swinging, and we're underway. That's the first out of the ball game at White House Field.
And when you have to deal with 4 different pitches that Polish offers, fastball, curveball, slider, or changeup, sometimes you're going to have to guess, and Beasley is guessing something different than that the left hand of Jacob Polish right there, and early the Stanford Cardinals collects his first strikeout.
Now the wind, first pitch to Riley King. Fastball buzzes right on the low and outside corner to King. It's 0-1.
And that's just what this guy does, throw strikes. Just 5 walks in 35 innings this season.
To go with 38 Ks. 0-1 to King, lifted in the air, pretty deep right center. Weimer backpedaling a little bit in right field, and he makes the catch. Plenty of room for Joey Weimer in right. It's a quick 2 outs from Polish on the mound. Here's the defense for Harwich this evening. Galland in left field, Dylan Noisy in center, Joey Weimer in right. Nico Cavadas at the hot corner. It's Hal Hughes and Corey Acton up the middle, and Chris Lanzilli is at first. Pat Winkle, the battery mate tonight with Jacob Polish. 2 down bases clear for Austin Wells. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch to Wells from Polish, misses down and inside for ball 1. Wells, the most outstanding prospect in the Cape League this year. He has struggled over the last week of the regular season and the playoffs. Fouls back the 1-0 out of play, a ball into strike.
It's been good to see for Austin, though. He's got hits in back-to-back games.
2 for 13, as you said, TJ. Back-to-back games. Felt like last time out 2 days ago against Harwich, he was starting to come around. Here's the 1-1. Fastball, misses inside, 2 balls and a strike. Home plate umpire today, Joseph Caraco. Mickey Garcia at first, Frank Auditore behind the bag at second, and Doug Isham down the third baseline. 2-1 to Wells. Fastball misses in, 3 balls and a strike. Scouting report on Polish. He loves his off-speed stuff. Similar to John Beller, really likes to spin it. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. There was the breaking ball. Wells chased one in the dirt, and it's a full count with 2 down.
He spoke it into existence after back-to-back fastballs. Low and inside to Wells. Polish goes breaking ball outside. Wells chases.
Swing and a miss. Got him on another breaking ball. Polish gets 2 strikeouts in the first, and YD goes down in order. Home half for the first. Coming up next, this is the Eastern Division Championship Series on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at White House Fields, bottom of the first inning, it's 0-0. Ryan Hare on the mound for the YD Red Sox, making his playoff debut. 4.26 ERA for Hare in the regular season. Dylan Noisy leads off for the Mariners, then Chris Galland in left field out of Boston College. Chris Lanzilli, second straight Chris in the order from Wake Forest, bats third. Nico Cavadas in the cleanup hole tonight. Wine from Hare, first pitch to Noisy. Fastball, a called strike right at the knees, 0-1. After Cavadas, it's Corey Acton moved up in the lineup to the 5 spot. Then Joey Weimer 6th. Pat Winkle, the catcher, 7th. Max Marshak at a Texas Tech, 8th at the DH spot. And Hal Hughes, the shortstop, bats 9th. 0-1 to Noisy. Misses down and outside. A ball and a strike from Hare. YD went down 1-2-3 in the road half of the first inning. Jacob Polish looked very locked in against the Sox, first 3 in the order. 1-1. Fastball misses just low to Noisy from Hare. 2 balls and a strike. Hare has not worked longer than 4 innings in any of his 5 starts this season for the Sox. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss from Noisy. Threw a fastball, let her high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hare from the windup. Noisy, the leadoff man, is 5 for 10 in the playoffs. He's been one of just a couple Mariners to really get it going. Hare winds. Here's the 2-2 to Noisy. Popped up on the fastball, back behind home plate and out of play. Another 2-2 coming from Hare to Noisy. It's been all pitching for Harwich in the playoffs. They've won all 3 of their games and have only allowed 3 runs throughout the 3 contests. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball sails out of the hand of Hare all the way to the backstop, and it's a full count with nobody down in the home half of the first. Noisy hit just 197 in the regular season, but he's on fire. 3-2. Misses high, and it's a leadoff walk in the first from Hare. Great crowd on hand here in Harwich, hoping to see their Mariners cruise through the first 4 games of the Eastern Division side of the playoffs. They swept Chatham 1-0, 4-2, and then took game 1 at YD 5-1. Now Chris Galland. Nobody out. Dylan Noisy on first base. Hare from the stretch to Galland. Galland 0 for 11 so far in the playoffs. Righty to righty here. Bluff from first. Squared a bunt at the plate. Galland pulls back, but it's a called strike on the breaking ball from Hare. Harwich used some small ball to perfection against the Red Sox in their first outing of the playoffs. Helped induce some errors from the YD defense. No balls and a strike to Galland. Hare from the stretch to the plate. Swinging, popped up, third base side. King over towards the Harwich dugout. He runs out of real estate. No balls, 2 strikes. The YD defense tonight, Austin Wells in left field. In center, it's Brad Beasley. Andrew Eister in right field. Riley King at third. Wyatt Young back in the lineup at shortstop. He's missed the last 2 games. Noah Campbell at second base. Tate Samuelson at first. And Noah Cardenas behind the plate, the battery made of Ryan Hare. Scoreless in the bottom of the first inning here in Harwich. No balls and 2 strikes to Galland. Hare to the plate. Fouled back. Galland meant to chase the fastball up, but he stays alive. 0-2. YD wearing the road red uniforms, white pants with the white pinstripe down the sides, blue lettering and numbers for the Sox. The tri-colored caps, red brims, white front panel, blue backs. Harwich in their home fully cream uniforms. The 0-2 to Galland. Popped up. This time it's going to be room. Down the left field line. Backpedaling King. Still backpedaling, and he makes the catch in shallow left. Riley King just kept backing up on it. No real play for either Young or Wells, and King squeezes the first out of the game on defense for the Sox.
Yeah, King looked a little awkward on that back pedal, but ball able to stay just outside that infield dirt and allows King, even though he's just backpedaling, able to get back there in plenty of time and secure the first out.
1 down now for Chris Lanzilli. 0 for 12 in the playoffs with 6 strikeouts for Lanzilli. but he ended the regular season on an absolute tear, upping his average to 293. Runner takes off for second. First pitch misses high and inside. Throw to second, not in time. Slight collision at second. Noisy swipes the bag. He went in hard at Noah Campbell. It was a ball high and inside, and it's 1-0 to the batter, Lanzilli. Runner in scoring position with one down for the Mariners in the bottom of the first inning. YD led 1-0 2 days ago. Harwich would score 5 unanswered to take the opening game of the series 5-1. 1-0. Misses high and inside. Lanzilli limbos out of the way of that fastball from Hare. Missing up a lot early when he's missing TJ.
Up and into those right-handed hitters, so running his arm side. Usually when that happens, your front shoulder is flying open and having the ball tail off towards your arm side, which we've seen a few times.
2 balls and no strikes to Lanzilli. Noisy, good speed on second. Dancing around, held by Campbell. 2-0. Breaking ball is in there for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike. The fastball's been up, but it feels like the feel for the curveball's been there.
And it helps that, obviously the curveball is going to break down. So if your fastball is sailing on you a little bit, do the curveball with the same release point, and it might end up in the strike zone, which it appears so far it is.
Campbell directly up the middle for the righty Lanzilli. A little bit of a knee bend and open stance from the right side. 2 balls and a strike. Hare sets at the belly button to the plate. Breaking ball fouled back to the cage right in front of us. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Noisy on second in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless, Harwich and YD. Hare takes a deep breath and comes set. 2-2. 2 looks to second base. He'll spin, throw to Campbell. Back standing is Noisy. It bounds away from Campbell for a moment, but not onto the outfield grass. Plenty of time for him to collect and keep Noisy at the bag.
Maybe the biggest thing from game 1, Brian, that we were talking about a couple days ago was the wasted outing from John Beller. I mean, now his best outing of the season, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts for the left-hander out of USC.
YD out-hit the Mariners as well. 2-2. Misses inside to Lanzilli. It's a full count with 1 down.
You just look at the box story. The pitchers seem like out-pitch Harwich. I mean, the hitters out-hit Harwich, and yet still the Harwich Mariners end up on top of that game 5-1. 4 unearned runs. Those are the difference. A 5-1 difference. 5 errors for YD, and just 1 error for Harwich, the top 2 fielding teams in the entire Cape League this season.
To go with 14 runners left on base for the Red Sox on offense. The defense is going to be under a microscope today, that's for sure. Hare, the 3-2. Swing, a foul tip held by Cardenas. Strike 3, Lanzilli goes down swinging. First strikeout today for Hare, and there's 2 down for the big power-hitting lefty, Nico Cavadas.
And now you can make it 0 for 13 with 7 strikeouts for Lanzilli this playoffs. And we're looking at this pregame. This middle of the Harwich order has done absolutely nothing this playoffs. And I'm talking 0 for 31 nothing this playoffs. And Harwich is still undefeated.
Galland, Lanzilli, and Cavadas, as you said, 0 for 31. Mind-boggling that they have yet to take a loss the way their offense has struggled. Trying to jump out early here. First pitch to Cavadas. Misses outside on the heater. That's ball 1.
It's not just the middle 3. You go 2 through 6 in the lineup. They're 4 for 54 in the playoffs.
You wouldn't think you'd win a lot of games, but they have won their first 3. 2 against Chatham, 1 against the Red Sox. A ball and no strikes to Cavadas. 9 home runs in the regular season. Noisy on second with 2 down. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. A ball and a strike to Nico. Cavadas at third base today, plays some first as well. Ended the season tied for the Cape League lead in long balls with 9. Wind is drifting from right to left across the outfield today. Not sure how that'll help any balls in the air. Yet to be tested. Hare with the 1-1. Nubbed over the head. Hare makes a nice backhanded lunge. Fires to first in time. Ryan Hare fields his position well. Moving to his right. Made a great stab to get Cavadas and end the first. Scoreless after 1 here from Harwich. This is Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the second inning, it's 0-0. Harwich and YD, Samuelson, Campbell, and Young all due to the plate against Jacob Polish, the Stanford ace of these Harwich Mariners, here to begin the second. Lefty to righty, Tate Samuelson stands at the dish. First pitch misses outside to Samuelson for ball one. Polish looked outstanding in the first inning, couple of strikeouts and a soft flyout against the YD order. 1-0. Samuelson pops it up, first base side. Lanzilli over near the dugout, reaches up and he makes the catch. A fly out in foul territory. Lanzilli right against the boundary near the Red Sox dugout. It's 4 up and 4 down. Polish dealing early.
And you see here early that Red Sox are trying to get after Polish early in the count and get something over the middle of the plate, trying not to fall behind, but are not making very hard contact so far against the lefty Polish.
Polish, the .77 ERA coming in, knew it would be a challenge. Now Noah Campbell from the right side. First pitch swinging, sky down the first base line. Another chance for Lanzilli, nears the fence. This time he runs out of real estate. 0-1 to Noah Campbell. 1 down, 0-0 in the top of the second inning. Campbell, the second baseman for the Red Sox. 0 for 5 so far in his 2019 playoff campaign. Last year for the Red Sox, he had a couple of hits in their brief stint in the playoffs. Got swept by Brewster last season. Here's the 0-1 to Campbell. Ground ball, left side, going to be a tough play. Rounded by Hughes at short. Off balance throw to first, in time to get Campbell. A bang-bang play at first. Hughes just had enough to get Campbell, and there's 2 down in the second inning.
Noah Campbell can't believe it. It looked like he was safe at first, but as he'll stroll back to the dugout now, a great play from Hal Hughes at short. I mentioned earlier, he is also, along with Wyatt Young, one of the best fielding shortstops in the Cape League, and he shows off the arm right there on the run. The throw to first apparently in time to get Noah Campbell.
Ranged into the hole, was able to round it and throw all in one motion, just enough to get the speedster. First pitch to Wyatt Young, a swing and a miss, strike one over the breaking ball. Wyatt Young making his return to the YD lineup after missing back-to-back games, one against Orleans and the opener against Harwich. The 0-1. Fastball misses low from Polish, a ball and a strike. Pleasant sight for Red Sox fans. Brad Beasley, though, has had such success in the leadoff spot. He stayed put. 1-1 misses low on an off speed. 2 balls and a strike.
And we're talking about earlier off the air about these YD hitters, about the opposite of Harwich in these playoffs.
2-1. Fastball catches the outer edge to the lefty Young. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now you look at the stats page for the 2019 playoffs on the Cape League site, and the top 3 hitters are all YD Red Sox. And then you have Brad Beasley, who's around 6th or 7th as well.
2-2, breaking ball, grounded up the middle. Hughes is going to have to charge at shortstop. Bare hand, throw to first, not in time. An infield hit for Wyatt Young. Almost another outstanding play from Hal Hughes. Fielded it clean on the bare hand, and Wyatt Young, even a bit hampered with the tight groin, able to beat out the infield single for the first Red Sox base runner of this ball game.
And that's just what Wyatt Young does. He finds holes infield and outfield right there. Once he scoots it past Jacob Polish, both the middle infielders, Corey Acton and Hal Hughes, are playing deep at their positions, having Hughes having to come up a lot to his left to come get that one, and just too much speed from Wyatt Young. And he's safe at first, and the inning will continue for one of the Red Sox hottest bats these playoffs.
5 of 9, Noah Cardenas in the Cape League playoffs. He's number 3 of the YD hitters, atop the 1-2-3 leaderboard in the Cape League in hitting. First pitch swinging, fouled back and out of play by Cardenas. Riley King comes in atop the leaderboards of hitting in the Cape League in these playoffs. He's 7 for 12. Tate Samuelson is 7 of 13, and then Noah Cardenas, 5 of 9. Both King and Samuelson have been retired already today by Polish on the mound for Harwich. We're scoreless in the top of the second. Young on first with 2 down. No balls and a strike. Polish from the stretch for the first time. Here's the pitch to Cardenas. Fastball roped into the left center gap. That's a base hit. Young turns around second. Noisy up with it in center. Throw comes into second, and it's a 2-out single for Noah Cardenas. He stays red hot lines the 0-1 into the left center gap, and they're on the corners with 2 down for Jack Thomas Wold.
That's just what Noah Cardenas has been doing all playoffs. Line drive, line drive, line drive. And that time, Polish leaves a fastball middle, right at the knees. And Cardenas just drops the barrel on it and lines it into left center for a base hit. Far enough away from both Noisy and Chris Galland to get Watt Young all the way over to third.
Now Jack Thomas Wold with 2 down. It was situations like these that the Red Sox couldn't get it done 2 days ago in Game 1. First pitch to Wold. Off speed, a called strike. It's 0-1. First start of the playoffs for Jack Thomas Wold. He's 1 for 4 with a double in a pinch hitting variety so far. Getting the start, though, at designated hitter today against the Southpaw Polish. Runners on the corners with 2 down. We're scoreless. The 0-1. Swing and a miss through the fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. Wold hasn't gotten a start yet because this is the 4th straight lefty that Whitey has faced to begin these playoffs. A little bit of an oddity to face 4 straight Southpaws. Polish amongst the best. Here's the 0-2. Fastball just off the plate away to Wold. A ball and 2 strikes.
And a good idea there from Polish. He goes with the slide step instead of the leg kick, trying to throw off the timing of Wold, but just misses that fastball away.
YD left 14 runners stranded in Game 1. Polish steps off. A ball and 2 strikes to Wold. They have 2 men aboard here in the 2nd inning. Wold with a chance to really give his team a boost. A must-win for the Red Sox. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, popped up. Third base side, that's going to be near the boundary. Out of play. Pat Winkle gave it a run down the third base line, the catcher, but it ends up about 5 rows deep in the bleachers. Another 1-2 pitch coming up here to Wold. It's just the top of the 2nd inning, but this feels like a big at-bat early, TJ. After Whitey's struggles with runners on base yesterday, there is an early anticipation with some major energy amongst this Harwich crowd. Polish comes set at the belt. Cardenas leads from first, Young from third. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball that's drilled in the air, pretty deep center field. Noisy going back on it. He's nearing the warning track, settles, and he makes the catch. Jack Thomas Wold gave it a ride to dead center, but comes up just a bit short. YD leaves 2 men, 1 on the first, 1 on third in the 2nd inning. Still scoreless after an inning and a half from Harwich. This is Red Sox baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 2nd inning back at White House Field. It's 0-0 between YD and Harwich here in Game 2 of the 2019 Eastern Division Championship Series. Harwich looking to sweep their way through the eastern half of the bracket. 2 wins already against Chatham, looking for the 2nd against the Red Sox. Acton, Weimer, and Winkle all to face Ryan Hare here in the 2nd for the Mariners. First pitch swinging to Acton. He chops it back to the screen behind home plate. Oh, no balls and a strike. YD got 2 hits in the second inning against Harwich's ace, Jacob Polish, but nothing to show for it. 0-1. Misses up and outside to the lefty Acton. 1-1. Acton was batting in the 8th spot 2 days ago in game 1 of this series. He got 1 hit in that game. 2 for 11 so far in the playoffs. Now he's moved up to the 5 spot today. 1-1. Breaking ball, line drive over the head of Young into center field. Wyatt Young shaded up the middle, gave it a leap, but just inches shy of reeling in the line drive, and a leadoff single for Acton to start the second. First hit of the day off Ryan Hare, second base runner to reach for the Mariners. Now Joey Weimer, nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Weimer hit .273 in the regular season. He drove in 17 runs, but he's 2 for 12 so far in the playoffs. Part of a Harwich offense that just hasn't been able to get it going. They've been carried by the pitching staff. Hare from the right side on the mound. Weimer, right-handed hitter. First pitch, swing and a miss. Through the fastball, letter high from Hare. No balls and a strike. These hitters being really aggressive early. Both teams swinging away early and often in the count. Hare from the stretch. The 0-1 to Weimer. Fastball misses inside, a ball and a strike. Whitey's infield, double play depth. Campbell up the middle. Wyatt Young pretty deep in the hole at shortstop. They're playing Weimer to pull to the left side. Massive gap on the right side of the infield for the Cincinnati Bearcat. A ball and a strike, nobody down. Long leg lift from Hare. Fouled back on the pitch from Weimer. A ball and 2 strikes. Hare had a long first inning as well after a leadoff walk to Dylan Noisy. Was able to retire the next 3 then, but had to throw fair share of pitches. Already at 25. A ball and 2 strikes to Weimer. Slide step, the pitch. Sharp grounder, 2 hops. Backhanded by King at third. He'll throw to first in time to get Weimer. Acton got a great jump. He took off for second. King might have had a play there, but elected to get the sure thing. Took the out at first. And there's a man in scoring position again for the Mariners with 1 down.
Number 5, the catcher from the University of Connecticut, Patrick Winkle.
Scoreless in the bottom of the second between Harwich and YD. Pat Winkle to the plate, the catcher out of UConn for the Mariners. He homered in game 1. That was the only earned run scored by Harwich in the opening game of this series. Hits from the left side. First pitch fastball misses low and tight for ball 1. Winkle's 2 for 7 in the playoffs, including that solo home run. During the regular season, he hit just .167. 1 home run then as well, also against the YD Red Sox. Hare, the 1-0. Sharply hit foul up the first baseline from Winkle, a ball and a strike. Lights are on here at White House Field, not doing anything quite yet. Still blue skies overhead with some clouds off in the distance. Great crowd on hand tonight at White House Field, packing either baseline and circling out around the outfield wall. Runner on second with 1 down for Harwich in the second inning. A ball and a strike to Winkle. The pitch. Changeup hammer deep in the air to left. Wells going back and he makes the catch. Wells took 2 strides back, reeled it in. No tag from Noisy. He's back to the second base bag and there's 2 down. Winkle gave that a ride to left field, but Wells has played a strong left field all season long, made it look easy, and there's 2 down. Runner in scoring position for Max Marshak. Harwich has had a man on second base in both the first and the second inning. It's Acton on board for the Mariners here in inning number 2. Final from Cotuit. It will be the Cotuit Cavaliers representing the Western Division in the championship series. First pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1 to Marshak, 0-1. but Katuitt takes it 5-3 in a series sweep over the Falmouth Commodores. Katuitt took 3 games to beat the Wareham Gatemen. They need just 2 to sweep the top-seeded Doors and go to the championship series. 0-1. High and tight, and it hits Marshak. Did that hit him on? That actually hit him on the bat, right on the knob. Thought it got him on the forearm, but in fact, that's just a foul ball, and it's 0-2 to Marshak. He doesn't argue, just backs out of the box in a little bit of pain, but sure enough, hits him on the knob. Ryan Hare catches the break.
Yeah, it's some bad luck. One of the smallest spots to possibly hit. That area ends up drilling it. That's the only spot where it's a foul ball, and it is called a foul ball.
Acton on second with 2 down. No balls and 2 strikes. Hare to Marshak. Fastball misses up. A ball and 2 strikes. Really working righties in.
Yeah, I was going to say near the same spot, up and inside. We've seen a few pitches here from Ryan Hare through the 2 innings he's thrown. Miss up and in that way. Maybe the breaking ball to bring him back down here, especially with 2 strikes. He's already got 1 strikeout on the day and can look to make it 2.
From the stretch, Acton gets a good lead from second. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hare gets Marshak on the slider and works around the leadoff single in the second. Harwich strands a man in scoring position for the 2nd straight inning, and we're through a pair at White House Field. Scoreless. This is Red Sox baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Nine, 1, and 2 in the Whitey order coming to the plate here in the top of the 3rd inning. Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series in the Cape Cod League playoffs. Whitey Red Sox drilling the Harwich Mariners 1-0 in the series. No score here at White House Field. Andrew Eister, Brad Beasley, and Riley King, the 3 penciled to come to the plate against the Stanford sophomore left-hander Jacob Polish, who has faced just 2 over the minimum through his 2 frames. Has allowed a pair of base hits, both back in the top half of the 2nd inning. 2 more base runners that Whitey has left stranded this series, now 16 total through 11 innings. First pitch to Eister, fastball spiked in the dirt. At 1 hops to Pat Winkle behind the plate, scoops it out. It's 1-0 on Eister. 1 for 8 in the playoffs so far. That one hit a 2-run home run. Swings at the 1-0. It's fouled right at home plate. Winkle trying to come out in front of home plate and keep it in fair territory. Instead, it's just a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. The 2nd at-bat of the playoffs for Eister. Coming against the Orleans Firebirds in Game 1, hit an opposite field 2-run home run against Jake Eater, the Vanderbilt left-hand hurler, as Eister swings at the 1-1, chops it towards third past Cavadas. Hughes fields it in the hole, will have no play over at first. Another base hit for Whitey that doesn't leave the infield. That's now 2 of the 3 that are infield base knocks for the Red Sox. Wyatt Young had one back in the 2nd, and now Eister has one here to lead off the 3rd inning, and the Red Sox have another base runner on here against Polish. So Brad Beasley, the Whitey center fielder, will step up. He struck out looking to open up this ball game. 4 for 11 now in the playoffs is Beasley. Polish working out of the stretch. And the first pitch home. Fastball dots the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Polish, a 4-pitch guy, native of Richardson, Texas. Fastball that tops at 91 is topping at 89 today. Curveball, slider, and changeup. I don't think we've seen the curveball today, but slider and changeup have been prominent for Polish here. 0-1. There's the changeup. Swing and a miss from Beasley. Spins around like a top, and he's behind 0-2.
Beasley has not looked comfortable against Polish so far. A couple of these Red Sox hitters have been on him, it feels like. But Beasley, even second time through right now, not looking like you've seen him all that well.
Beasley, right-handed hitter out of Cal Poly. Digs back in 0-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called at the knees. The changeup again from Polish just dots the bottom half of the strike zone, and Beasley's retired and has struck out for the second time today. The third strikeout for Polish. And there's one down here in the third inning, and Riley King will step up. Right-hand hitter out of Georgia, 0-for-1. Has had multiple hits in every game he's played in the playoffs so far. 7-for-13. As he digs back in. Polish to set, the left-hander's first pitch. Swing and a miss from King. Fans threw a fastball, and it's 0-1.
It's a comfortable swing, though, TJ. He's locked in right now at the plate. Fly out his first time up. I really think Riley's seeing the ball well out of the left hand of Polish.
King just sees lefties so well. Ended the regular season hitting over 400 versus southpaws. Polish the set, and the 0-1. Fastball dots the strike zone at the knees, and it's 0-2. If there's one thing we've seen from Polish today, it's been strike 1 and strike 2 most times.
Fastball command is perfect. He almost missed his pitch there on the first pitch to King, but that one low and outside just perfectly placed to get up 0-2.
Left-hander sets at the belt. King behind 0-2. Eister leads off of first the pitch. Fastball just misses. About an inch below the bottom rung of the strike zone. Home plate umpire Joseph Caraco doesn't think it's up enough, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Flag out in straightaway right field is laying silent. No wind here at White House Field. The 1-2 to King. Change up, swing and a miss, strike 3. That pitch has been deadly these last 2 hitters as King is set down on strikes, the 4th strikeout for Polish tonight. And that'll bring up Austin Wells now with 2 outs. And Andrew Eister still over at third. And it's not just been overpowering, it's not overpowering velocity from Polish, it's just the command of the 3 pitches we've seen from him today, the changeup, the slider, and the fastball.
And they can be in any order in the count. He's pretty unpredictable as well. It's going to be a challenge for Whitey, to say the least. They're going to have to string hits together.
Wells digs in the first pitch. Fastball, called a strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-1. So make that now for Polish. He's at 39 pitches. 29 of them have been strikes. Wells has crushed Harwich pitching this season. 423 he hit in the 6 games versus the Mariners this season. There goes Eister from first. Wells shows bunt, pushes it up the third base line. Cavada's coming up to field it. He slips it, scoots past him. Everyone's going to be safe. Nico Cavadas lost his footing coming into field that at third. It would have been a tough play for Wells, who runs well for a catcher. Down the first base line, he reaches. The second infield single of the inning for Whitey, and there's 2 on and 2 out for Tate Samuelson.
And at the end of BP today, TJ, Whitey always does an execution round. Last play for Wells, Pick said, I want you to drag one down the third base line. Wells put it down perfectly, looked at Pick and said, that's a hit. Pick said, at some point tonight, I want you to do that. Tate Samuelson said, I'll make sure to drive you in.
So we'll see if Samuelson does that. First pitch swinging, fouls one straight back. And it's 0-1. I mean, just a perfect bunt right up the baseline, down the third baseline in foul territory. And Cavadas was playing back, had to come in a long way to get that, and just lost his footing. Allowed Wells to reach over at first. So Eister in scoring position leads off of second. Wells leads off of first, a pair of base runners for 2 outs. With 2 outs for Whitey. Samuelson swings at the 0-1, rips it into center field for a base hit. Eister's chugging around third. He'll come home to score without a throw. Samuelson delivers on that promise. He drives in Eister and puts Whitey up 1-0 here in the 3rd inning against Jacob Polish. Already the 5th hit the Red Sox have had against the Stanford left-hander, and that's 2nd time through the order, at least here to Wells and Samuelson. They're seeing that ball well.
that just shows how much trust Wells has in Tate Samuelson behind him. In a spot with 2 outs, you'll see a lot of guys try to crush a home run right there with Wells. He just kept the line moving, got someone in scoring position, and trusted the guy who's leading the team in playoff RBIs to get it done, and he did.
Here's Campbell. Switch hitter bats right-handed. It's brushed back by a first pitch fastball. Misses inside 1-0. Now 5 RBIs on the playoffs for Samuelson in his 4th game. The second best hitter in the playoffs behind Riley King entering today. The set from Polish. Still runners on at first and second. Long pause. Left-handers 1-0. Fastball misses inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So Samuelson, with his hot playoffs, has raised his season average. Ended the season at 240. He entered today at 274, and it's going to go up even further. 2 balls and no strikes to Noah Campbell, the second-year Waddy Red Sox. The pitch from Polish. Fastball. Dots the strike zone at the knees. It's 2-1. And I don't think there's been a more locked-in hitter at the plate for Waddy in the playoffs than Tate Samuelson. Just looking at his at-bats, every swing a comfortable one.
Yep.
Polish sets again. Wells dancing off of second. Left-handers 2-1. Swinging a line drive right at the second baseman, Corey Acton. He robs Noah Campbell of a base hit. A frozen rope line drive right at the eyes of Acton, who at the last second flashes the glove up to protect his head and stabs the baseball out of the air and retires Noah Campbell for the 3rd out of this 3rd inning. Red Sox get on the board against Jacob Polish. A Tate Samuelson RBI single makes it 1-0 Waddy here in Game 2 of this Eastern Division Championship Series here at White House Field. Went to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Waddy here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom 3 here from White House Field in Harwich. It's 1-0 Waddy. 9-1-2 in the Mariners lineup. Coming to the plate against Ryan Hare, Hal Hughes, Dylan Noisy, Chris Gallen. The first 2 due up in this 3rd inning. The 2 who have had the most success at the plate this playoffs, Hal Hughes, Dylan Noisy. The pair have combined for 9 base hits for Harwich. First pitch breaking ball from Ryan Hare. Over for a strike. In the middle of the plate, it's 0-1. Hughes is 4 for 8 in the playoffs. Noisy entering today 5 for 10. So the 2 combined 9 for 18 in the playoffs. Hughes awaits the 0-1. Breaking ball again from Hare. This one skips in the dirt, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the 9-1 hitters in this Harwich lineup doing most of the heavy lifting for this Mariners offense, while the middle struggles continue in the playoffs. 1-1. Swinging a pop-up. Foul territory first base side. Tate Samuelson has a beat on it in foul territory. Just down onto the warning track in front of the Whitey dugout. Makes the catch for the 1st down. So Hughes pops up for the 1st out of this 3rd inning, and Dylan Noisy, who walked and stole a base back in the 1st inning, will stride to the plate. Samuelson wasn't playing near the foul line at first, but he has excellent range at first. Easily comes over and makes that catch for the 1st down of the inning. Hare out of the windup, preparing the first pitch for Dylan Noisy. First pitch swinging, lines one out to right field. Eister backs up a few steps, tracks it down and makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Noisy retired on the first pitch. 2 up, 2 down for Harwich here in the third inning. And now Chris Gallen will step to the plate.
Has to feel good for Hare to get a couple of quick outs after laboring early in the first 2 innings. Leadoff man reached and then got to second in both the first and the second, so has to feel good to get early contact and get some outs to start this third.
So now 25 strikes, 13 balls for Hare. You like to see that. A guy who struggled at control sometimes this season. First pitch breaking ball from Hare over for a strike, and it's 0-1. Hare, native of Lakewood, California. Redshirt junior at UNLV. Fires home the 0-1 out of the windup. It's fouled out of play over the chain link fence, protecting the press box and home plate, and out of play. It's 0-2 quickly on Chris Gallen. Gallen taking a deep breath. Instantly finds himself in a hole here against Hare. Strike away from getting out of this third. The 0-2. Fastball chopped foul down the third base side, just to the left of the Harwich bullpen. Situated in foul territory down that way, and it's 0-2. There's that fastball. We've seen a little bit erratic command from Hare here early, missing to his arm side. That one looked like it was on the inner half, if not a little bit inside. Right-hander gets his sign from Noah Cardenas. The 0-2. Fastball stays upstairs, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hare in this 2019 season with YD, a 4.26 ERA in 19 innings entering today. And his first playoff start for YD. The 1-2. Breaking ball misses just outside. Hare thought he had strike 3. Joseph Caraco thought otherwise, and it's now 2-2.
Couple of Red Sox were starting to stride off. Definitely a borderline pitch. Good to see, though, Hare hitting his spot right there.
2-2. Breaking ball, check swing foul up the first base side. It stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gallen with his pop out to third back in the first inning. Now 0 for 12 in the playoffs. Drove in a run on a sacrifice fly game 1 against YD. But otherwise, 0 for at the plate. Hare appear in, gets his side. 2-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. 1-2-3, third inning for Ryan Hare. Picks up his third strikeout and gets through 3 scoreless innings for YD. That'll send us to the 4th. It's 1-0 Red Sox in Game 2 of this Eastern Division Championship between YD and Harwich here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
In the next inning for the second half.
6, 7, and 8 in the Red Sox order. Coming to the plate against Jacob Polish in the top half of the 4th inning. Wyatt Young, Noah Cardenas, and Jack Thomas Wold. Just what everyone was expecting in this matchup. One of the Capes League's best pitchers throwing for Harwich and Jacob Polish. Yet the score sits at 1-0 YD through 3 innings. Red Sox have touched up Polish for a run on 5 hits through the first 3 frames of this game. Young, who reached on an infield single in the second 1-for-1, steps in. First pitch, swings and chops it foul up the first base side, and it's 0-1. But up and down this lineup, a couple of strikeouts sprinkled in. Polish has been all in the strike zone, working in there with all 3 of his pitches. But the Red Sox have touched him up for 5 hits and a run through 3. A guy with 2 complete games on the Cape League this season. 0-1 fastball on the inside corner to Young. It's 0-2. In fact, entering today, before that run in the 3rd inning, Polish had his last 13 innings in the regular season scoreless. And then the first 2 today scoreless. Young check swing, breaking ball in the 0-2, misses a bit low and inside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Red Sox snapping a 15-inning scoreless streak for Jacob Polish. Left-hander peers in at Winkle, gets his sign 1-2. Breaking ball, changeup misses low. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He had 3 days after the All-Star game a no-hitter, 7-inning no-hitter against the Orleans Firebirds. As Young swings at the 2-2, swings and lines it left center field, over is Noisy to his right, and the center fielder makes the catch. Good range in center from Dylan Noisy, showing off the wheels and robbing Wyatt Young of a potential base hit here in the 4th inning. So 1 down, Noah Cardenas will step to the plate. Cardenas roped a single, the hardest hit ball of the day for YD. Back in the 2nd inning. Of the 5 hits for YD, 3 have been on the infield, but you'll take them any way you can get. So Cardenas, the freshman out of UCLA, steps in. Polish winds, first pitch. Breaking ball, changeup on the inside corner, 0-1.
Cardenas has been locked in, Tej. It's just everything that he's seen has been hit hard into the left center gap. It's that line drive approach that makes him so good at UCLA.
0-1. Change up, this time misses a bit low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. With that single back in the 2nd, Cardenas is now 6 for 10 in these playoffs. One of 3 very, very solid catcher bats on this YD roster. 1-1. Breaking ball, called a strike, the changeup a 3rd time, and it's now 1-2.
Right at the knees. That's been called a strike today for Polish. We haven't seen hair really go down there, but it's a low zone, I think, early. And Polish has taken advantage and gotten a couple of those calls.
Polish is now at 55 pitches. The lefty's 1-2 inside, and it catches a piece of Cardenas. That one hurt. He slams his bat into the ground as he jogs up the first base side, but it counts as a base nonetheless. Cardenas has reached both times.
Got him in a spot. I imagine it's probably kind of like a dead leg down there for Noah Cardenas right now. That will definitely leave a bruise. And the catcher for YD has been working so hard as of late defensively, really been a brick wall behind the plate, swinging it well. So you hope he's still 100% for the Red Sox. Not a ton of speed over there on first. It's going to be interesting to see if anything's put on with Jack Thomas Wold at the plate.
Here's Wold at the plate, runner on with 1 out. First pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-Wold. Back in the 2nd inning, Jack Thomas Wold just, and I mean just, missed hitting one out of here to center field at White House Field. It's 400 feet to center field here in Harwich. 330 down the line. It's a big ballpark, but Wold just missed one back in the 2nd. Would have been a 3-run shot. 0-1, swing and a high fly ball deep right field. Did he get this one back? His Weimer, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Cardenas was off, way off the base. The long throw into first is in time to get Cardenas and double him off. Jack Thomas Wold just misses hitting one out of here for the 2nd straight at bat. Instead, it's a double play. Put out in the outfield from Joey Weimer, and then the throw all the way back to first doubles off Noah Cardenas for the 3rd out of the inning. A couple of loud knocks off the bat of Jack Thomas Wold, but 2 outs to show for it as the Red Sox are retired in the 4th inning. Went to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 YD in Game 2 of this Eastern Division Championship Series here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom four here from White House Field, 1-0. Red Sox over Harwich Mariners. It's going to be 3, 4, and 5 in the Harwich lineup. Chris Lanzilli, Nico Cavadas, Corey Acton out to face the UNLV right-hander Ryan Hare. 1-2-3, third inning for Hare. A quick one for the Lakewood, California native. First pitch, breaking ball to Lanzilli, stays high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Red Sox just missed cashing in on 2 more runs back in the 4th inning. Jack Thomas Wold just missing hitting one out as Lanzilli swings at the 1-0, pops it up on the infield. Foul territory, first base side, Noah Cardenas over to his right. About halfway down the baseline, makes the catch for the first down.
Loud call from Cardenas. I would have liked to take Samuelson to take that one. Would have been probably a little bit less nerve-wracking as Cardenas backpedaled towards the first baseline and lunged last second. Samuelson, the first baseman, definitely had an easier play, but there's one down, and all of a sudden Ryan Hare has set down 7 straight Mariners.
A guy who's really struggled to get innings going this season with control and hit issues as first pitch to Nico Cavadas, fastball buzzes the strike zone at the knees. It's 0-1. We're seeing some of his best stuff here in the 3rd and 4th innings. Right-hander came to pitch today. Peers over his glove, gets his sign from Cardenas, 0-1. Cavadas watches, breaking ball, miss outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Red Sox have left 4 more base runners on base today. Scratched across a run here in Harwich. Open ad on more in the later innings. The 1-1. Change up, misses inside to Cavadas. It's 2-1. League's leading home run hitter. Hit 9 long balls in the regular season. Is 0 for 9 in the playoffs with 3 walks. Hare peer in, takes a deep breath. The 2-1. Change up, chopped first base side. Cavadas thinks it's foul. Samuelson's going to field it. Step on the pillow, and they're going to call Cavadas out. Cavadas standing at home plate, arms extended. Can't believe it. There's some confusion at home plate, and now Joseph Caraco is going to talk to his umpires.
It was never called a foul ball. Cavadas never moved, clearly believing it hit his foot. The way Cavadas reacted, it hit his foot. But it was never called a foul ball, and so that sense he probably should have ran. Made it a really easy play for Samuelson. Now the umpires are coming together. Now this is a play that if one of the umpires saw it, it can be overturned, but not an easy view for any of the 4 umpires on the field.
And I feel like if there's anyone who would know if it hit his foot, it would be Cavadas. So, yep, foul ball is ruled there on the field by Caraco. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cavadas. And now Pick's out of the dugout on the 3rd base side.
Pick's main question is how on earth can one of these guys who's 120 feet away see it, which is a fair point from Scott Pickler. But the way Cavadas reacted and the way that ball kind of bounced off home plate, I thought it hit Cavadas' foot as well. But it's a fair debate that Pick has because it's pretty hard for anyone to see if it hit Cavadas' foot or not. Normally that's just a call that the home plate umpire makes immediately.
Yeah, it's like Joseph Caraco didn't seem like he saw it, and he would by far have the best view.
He kind of reacted oddly as well. He jumped out in front of home plate like an umpire normally does when they're going to call the ball foul, but he never put his arms up in the air and signaled foul ball. Caraco reacted as if it hit Cavadas' foot as well. He just never made the call, which made it even more confusing for everybody involved.
So it's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cavadas. The Notre Dame product is going to get another chance here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No one on and 1 out here in the 4th inning. Waddy leading Harwich 1-0 here in game 2. Hare peer in at Noah Cardenas. Whitey on the infield is shifted for Cavadas to pull on the ground. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Hare blows away Cavadas with a fastball, his 4th strikeout of the game, and sets down the Notre Dame product with the 2nd out of this 4th inning. And a bit of a strut there from Hare at the end as he gets the strikeout. So 2 down for Harwich in the 4th inning, and Corey Acton will step to the plate. The Florida Gator, second baseman for Harwich, singled back in the 2nd inning, the only Harwich hit of the day. That's left in, and first pitch from Hare, breaking ball, chopped, just foul up the first base side. Stayed just outside that foul line by about a foot. and it's 0-1.
TJ Hare seems pretty amped up today. You mentioned blew it by Cavadas, touching 90 with the fastball, really as hard as we've seen him all summer. He's about to match his longest start of the summer with 4 innings as well. This is as locked in as we've seen Ryan Hare.
The wind and the right-handers 0-1. Fastball misses a bit inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch count's in pretty good shape for Hare, too, just over 50 pitches. 54 pitches for Hare now, 35 strikes, 19 balls. The 1-1 swing and a fly ball deep left field. Wells chasing it back near the warning track, and he watches that one get out of here. Off the bat, it sounded good, but wasn't sure if it had enough, but it did. Corey Acton goes oppo, straight down the left field line off of Ryan Hare and ties this ball game up at 1. The 4th home run of the summer for Acton, just his 4th hit of the playoffs. It ties this game up at 1, and he's got both hits for Harwich today. He's 2 for 2.
We have a great view of that one, TJ, just eyeing it up down the left field line. Just kept hooking and carrying. Like you said, it sounded solid off the bat, and Austin Wells turned and was racing immediately. It just sneaks out down the left field line to 330 feet.
So we'll run in for Harwich in the 4th inning, and Joey Weimer steps in. First pitch fastball, brushes the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. We saw a very similar home run earlier this summer. Christian Fedko hit one almost the exact same spot earlier game, Whitey and Harwich. The 1-1. Fastball stays high. It's 1 ball and a strike. Here to Weimer. So Hare has given up a home run here in the 4th inning. Tie game at 1-1. Peers over his glove, gets the sign and the pitch. Breaking ball, chops slowly over towards Campbell. Weimer slips out of the box. Campbell fields off the high hop, throws a dart to first, and it's in time for the 3rd out of the inning. So a 2-out solo home run from Corey Acton ties this ball game up at 1 here at White House Field. Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series here in Harwich. It's 1-1 between Harwich and Whitey. We'll come back for the top of the 5th inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Top of the 5th, we're even at 1 at White House Field in Harwich, Massachusetts. It's 9-1-2 due up for the Whitey Red Sox here in the beginning of the 5th inning. Still Jacob Polish on the mound for the Harwich Mariners as we begin the 5th. Eister, Beasley, and King all due for the Sox against Polish. Polish has been touched up a bit. 5 hits allowed for the ace of the Harwich Mariners staff today, one of which to Andrew Eister, who's leading off this inning for the Red Sox. A scary 9-man in the order for YD. First pitch of the 5th inning misses down and away to the righty Eister for ball 1. Eister, 1 home run so far in the playoffs. He has scored 3 runs, however. A man who started off the season one of the early leaders for MVP in the Cape League. 1-0. Fouled back and out of play by Eister, a ball into strike. First 2 weeks of the year, you might have heard the story at this point. Eister was hitting above 500, 3 home runs, 2 doubles. The next 6 weeks and the remainder of the regular season, Eister hit below 100, the 1-1. Misses down in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. He did not have an extra base hit, and the average dipped all the way to 208. He's since rebounded a little. Scott Pickler has almost redone quite a bit of his swing. leading off here in the 5th for the Red Sox. The 2-1 from Polish, bounced foul from Eister. 2 balls, 2 strikes. YD 5 hits, 1 run to show for it. Harwich 2 hits off of Ryan Hare, both from Corey Acton. The most recent a solo home run to even the score at 1. The 2-2 misses in the dirt to Eister, and it's a full count. Bases clear, nobody down. Eister led off the 3rd inning for the Red Sox with an infield single to Hal Hughes at shortstop. He came around to score on a Tate Samuelson RBI base hit. The 3-2, high chopper down the 3rd base line, right around the chalk, fielded Cavadas, foul ball. Foul ball called by the 3rd base umpire Doug Isham. Last second, threw up the hands. It bounded over the bag. Cavadas waited for the high hop. His throw was in time to get Eister at first base, but called wide of the chalk line, and another 3-2 pitch coming to Eister.
Yeah, that one was right on top of the chalk. It looked like that on the hopper, unable to tell if that one was going to come down fair or foul. Ends up going just foul, and Eister gets another shot.
Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series. Harwich leads the series 1-0 after a 5-1 victory 2 days ago. We were supposed to play yesterday, but were rained out. 3-2, again fouled back by Eister. Really battling here. His approach has just been different over the last couple games, TJ. Drawing more walks, going to work with 2 strikes.
Yeah, it helps. He's making a little bit more contact, too. In the midst of that slump, even if the pitch was right down the middle, Eister was missing it. Now able to at least foul the pitches off.
3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Polish gets him out in front of a breaking ball. 5th strikeout today for the Southpaw Polish on the hill. And there's 1 down in the 5th.
Number 5, the center
Flips the
fielder
leadoff,
from Cal
flips the
Poly,
order over to the leadoff
Brad
hitter, Brad Beasley. Beasley might have had the most struggles so far tonight against Jacob Polish. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. The 2nd-year Whitey Red Sox looking to advance to the championship series for the first time. First pitch to Beasley. Off speed, dips low below the knees for ball 1. Beasley was on fire entering tonight's ball game in the playoffs. 4 for 10, 6-run score, 1 out. Fastball misses in, a ball and a strike. Those 6 runs were the most of any player in the Cape League in the playoffs. Here's the 2-0 to Beasley. Fastball misses outside, 3 balls and no strikes. And this is the Brad Beasley we've been used to seeing in the playoffs. 5 walks through 3 games for Beasley. The 3-0. Fastball poured in there right down the pipe for strike 1. 3-1. Polish, ERA sub 1. Works the 3-1. Beasley lifts it in the air down the right field line. Going over for it is Weimer. Backing up, and he makes the catch. Just shy of the warning track, Beasley flies out, and it's a quick 2 outs here in the 5th inning for the Red Sox. 1-1 between YD and Harwich. That brings up Riley King. He's 0 for 2 today, the 3rd baseman for the YD Red Sox. King, the all-star, starter at 3rd for the Eastern Division this year. Got really hot for YD when Scott Pickler moved him to the 6 hole. Now he's bumped up to the 2 spot. First pitch in his 3rd at-bat, misses down and in for ball 1. King is 0 for 2 today. Fly out to right and a strikeout. The 1-0. Fastball just below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. King hits over 400 against left-handed pitching. He has crushed lefties in the playoffs. 7 of 12 entering today. 2-0. Fastball misses inside. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Palis really working quickly on the mound. On deck, Austin Wells. Most outstanding prospect in the Cape League. Here's the pitch. King takes a fastball, called strike on the outer edge. 3 balls and a strike to King.
But the big thing here for Polish, 74 pitches now here in the 4th.
3-1, misses low, check swing, appeal to first. He did not go around Mickey Garcia. Since he didn't go, and there's a man aboard for YD with 2 down in the 5th inning.
Number 16, the left
2
fielder
outs,
from the
King
University
on
of
first,
Arizona,
even at
Austin
1
Wells.
here in the top of the 5th inning, and that brings up the lefty Austin Wells to face Jacob Polish. Similar spot for Austin Wells in the third inning. He came to the plate with 2 outs in the third, a man on first base, and he put a perfect bunt down the third baseline for a base hit. The cleanup hitter after Wells, Tate Samuelson, then finished up the scoring for Whitey in the inning with a line drive base hit up the middle to plate Andrew Weister. First pitch to Wells here in the 5th. Fouled back on a fastball. No balls and a strike. One for 2 to Wells today. Also a strikeout in the first inning. King, not a big base stealing threat on first. Polish sets at the belt, staring King down. Now the 0-1. Chopped foul at the plate by Wells. That caught a pretty solid piece of his lead right foot. No balls and 2 strikes to Wells. Great crowd on hand here in Harwich for Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series. They want to see their Mariners go to the finals to take on Cotuit. The 0-2, King takes off. Swing, foul tipped at the plate by Wells. Just got a piece in and out of the glove of Winkle. If he wasn't standing up to try to cut down Riley King at second, he might squeeze that ball and Polish might be out of the inning.
Yeah, now Wells will get another chance. A guy that, if you were to pick one to get another chance on this team, this guy would probably be at the top of your list.
Polish, the 0-2. King takes off again. High chopper, right at Hal Hughes at short. Charges, sidearms to first in time to get Austin Wells. Shortstop gets the 3-hole hitter for the Red Sox. It's 1-1 through 4.5 here at White House Field. This is Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series in Red Sox baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 5th inning, back at White House Field in Harwich, Massachusetts. It's 1-1 between the Whitey Red Sox and the Harwich Mariners as we begin the home half of the 5th inning. Bottom third of the order, due up for the Mariners against Ryan Hare, set to start the 5th inning for the first time as a Whitey Red Sox on the mound. His career high in innings is 4, which he's done 3 times for Whitey. Winkle, Marshak, and Hughes, 7, 8, 9, due up here in the 5th. First pitch to Winkle. Hit in the air, down the left field line, in foul territory, racing over Wells. He can't get there in time. It falls harmlessly in the Harwich bullpen for strike 1 to Winkle. Winkle has killed the Whitey Red Sox this season. 1 home run in the playoffs for Winkle, 1 in the regular season total. Both have come against Whitey. Hare from the windup. Winkle from the left side. Here's the 0-1. Check swing on a fastball up. It's a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes now to Winkle. He flew out to Wells in left field in his only at-bat today in the 2nd. Hare stares over his dark black glove. High blue socks. Here's the 0-2. Sails the fastball way upstairs. A ball and 2 strikes.
As good as Ryan Hare's been today, that's still continues to linger. That pitch that occasionally would just sail up and outside to lefties, up and into righties.
61 pitches so far for Hare through 4. Here's the 1-2 to Winkle. Fouled back. Winkle battles. Went after a fastball right around his knees and sent it out of play. Through 4.5 here at White House Field. 1 run apiece. Whitey 5 hits. Harwich 2. Long look in now from Hare. From the wide. The 1-2. Fastball. This is just outside. Might have actually been the changeup from Hare. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tried to paint the low and outside edge to Winkle. Ready to go again. Here's the 2-2. Fastball popped up from Winkle. Foul territory on the left side. Cardenas, the catcher, tosses the mask. He wants it. Backpedaling, and he makes the catch. Rearing back over his head as he backtracked towards fair territory, about 10 feet into foul ground up the third base line, and Cardenas makes the squeeze. It's 1 down in the 5th.
And now the second time tonight we've seen Cardenas show off some good range behind the plate in foul territory, make a tough catch. I mean, he's been about as good as it gets behind the plate this summer. Arm, keeping balls in front of him. And right there with the range on a pop-up in foul territory.
Now Ryan Hare officially through 4 1/3. It's his longest start of the summer. Coming up big time for the Red Sox. First pitch to Max Marshak. He squares to bunt, pops it up foul and out of play. Just barely nicked a piece of the pearl from Hare and sent it behind the backstop. 0-1. Marshak struck out against Hare back in the second inning to end the second frame. There was a runner on second at that point for the Mariners. Here's the 0-1. Curveball stays up high, a ball and a strike. Whitey pitchers generally go right around 80 pitches, so we have to imagine Hare starting to get close to the end of his outing tonight. 1-1. Another breaking ball misses high. 2 balls and a strike. Marshak squared to bunt again. Riley King was crashing hard from third. 2 balls and a strike. This is Marshak's first appearance in these Cape League playoffs. 4th game for the Mariners. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss right through the fastball. 2-2 from Hare. During the regular season, Marshak hit just 145 for Harwich. Getting the spot start tonight in the bottom of the order at DH. Everyone straight away for Marshak. Bases empty with 1 down. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Hare gets Marshak on the fastball. Second out here in the 5th. That's the 5th strikeout tonight from Ryan Hare on the mound, and we're through 2 outs in the 5th.
Hal Hughes.
9-man now for the Mariners. It's the shortstop, Hal Hughes. He popped out to Tate Samuelson in foul ground in his only time to the plate today. But he's been hot come playoff time, 4 for 9. First pitch to Hughes. Fastball misses low for ball 1. I don't think we could have expected this performance from Ryan Hare, TJ. He has been some type of locked in tonight.
It's just, playoffs is a different animal.
1-0. This is inside to Hughes. 2 balls and no strikes. But normally that different animal puts pressure on pitchers and makes them, if anything, perform worse. He is exceeding any expectations.
Well, sometimes just a little kick of adrenaline will help you. And I can say if you're that invested in this game, then the adrenaline will help you out.
2-0. Popped up by Hughes. Again, a chance for Cardenas. Back behind home plate. He's looking, circling, and he makes the catch. Noah Cardenas shines defensively in the 5th. The catcher catches 2 pop-ups in foul ground, and the bottom third of the Mariners' order goes down 1, 2, 3. We're through 5, even at 1 in Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the sixth, still Jacob Polish on the mound for the Harwich Mariners, the starter working into the sixth inning. He'll face the heart of the YD lineup, 4, 5, and 6 here in the sixth. We're even at 1 between Harwich and YD. First pitch to Tate Samuelson. This is low and inside for ball 1. Samuelson is 1 for 2 today. He's 8 for 14 so far in the playoffs for YD. The 1-0. Samuelson lifts it in the air, foul and out of play to the right side. A ball and a strike. 5 RBIs for Tate Samuelson so far in the playoffs. 1 tonight. That scored Andrew Eister to give YD a 1-0 lead back in the third. Next pitch, hit in the air, left center field. Plenty of room for Dylan Noisy, the left center fielder, trotting over, and the center fielder makes the catch for the first out here of the sixth. 1 down now for Noah Campbell. Campbell will hit from the right side, still against the southpaw Polish on the mound. Campbell last time up had runners on first and second in the third, trying to add on after the Samuelson base hit. He smoked a line out to Corey Acton, the second baseman, who just had to shield his eyes by making the catch. First pitch misses low to Campbell for ball 1. The switch hitter hitting from the right side against Polish. Campbell's still hitless in these 2019 playoffs, 0 for 7. The 1-0. Called strike. That was the big looping breaking ball. First time we've really seen that today from Polish. 1-1. Campbell, the all-star during the regular season, hit .324 for the Sox. 1-1. Called a strike, another off speed. A ball and 2 strikes to Campbell. 1-1 as we begin the sixth inning here from Harwich. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Went after a fastball up and away, and Polish has gotten quick 2 outs here to start the sixth inning to bring up Wyatt Young.
Number 7, the shortstop.
Young is 1 for 2 today. His one hit was an infield single in the second to the shortstop Hal Hughes. Wyatt led the Red Sox in hitting during the regular season, but he's been hampered by a bit of a groin injury here in the playoffs, making only his second appearance. He played night 1 against Orleans where he got 1 hit. First pitch swinging, fouls it back to the cage, 0-1. Young hit .338 during the regular season. Went back and forth with the likes of Zach DeLoach, Max Troiani, and Nick Gonzalez for the batting title. Ended up falling just a few points short. The 0-1. Fouled off and out of play by Young. No balls and 2 strikes. Bases empty, 2 down in the sixth for the Red Sox. 1 run apiece. YD backs against the wall. It's a must win. Here's the 0-2 to Young. Breaking ball misses low. A ball and 2 strikes. Wyatt Young's absence hurt YD most 2 days ago in game 1 against these Mariners with his defense out of the lineup. 1-2, line drive through the left side, a base hit. Splits the 5-6 hole on the left side of the infield, and Wyatt Young has his second hit of the ball game. He's aboard with 2 down in the sixth.
And that one's barely out of the infield, but we just talk about the bat control of Wyatt Young. He can, for the most part, put it wherever he wants on the field, and right there perfectly splits Cavanis and Hal Hughes on the left side of the infield and puts himself on first here with 2 outs and arguably the Red Sox hottest hitter at the plate.
Noah Cardenas steps to the dish with 2 down. Has to ungear, strip down all the catcher's gear that he had on. YD's catcher today has done a bit of everything. 1 hit in the ball game. Also got plunked by a pitch from Polish in his other time to the plate in the fourth. 1-1, top of the sixth inning. Harwich looking to head to the championship series against Cotuit. First pitch misses low, blocked in the dirt. At first, Winkle couldn't find it, but it settled right at his feet, and he pounces on it to hold Young at first. Ball 1 to Cardenas. Cardenas has also made a couple fine catches on foul pop-outs. 3 pop-outs to the backstop today for YD. YD's defense has been sound tonight after committing 5 errors in the opening game against these Mariners 2 nights ago. It was 4 unearned runs that cost the Red Sox in that one. 5-1 Mariner victory. The 1-0. Swing and a miss from Cardenas. Went after a fastball up in the zone. A ball and a strike. Polish up over 90 pitches. He's at 92 on the night in the 6th inning. Here's the 1-1. Cardenas hits it in the air down the right field line. Weimer coming in towards the line, and he makes the running catch. Cardenas almost snuck one down the right field line, but it's run down for the 3rd out in the Whitey half of the 6th inning. Still 1 run apiece between the Mariners and the Red Sox. This is Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the Harwich order set to come to the plate here in the home half of the 6th inning. It's 1-1 between the Whitey Red Sox and the Harwich Mariners. Still Ryan Hare back out on the mound for the Whitey Red Sox. They are getting every ounce of what they can get out of Ryan Hare tonight in his best performance of the summer. Only 2 hits, 1 run allowed by Hare through 5 innings. He's back out to work the 6th. 3rd time through the order coming up for Ryan Hare. Noisy, Gallant, and Lanzilli all due to the plate. Righty-righty matchup to start the 6th. First pitch to Noisy, swing and a miss, strike 1. Noisy led off the game for the Mariners with a walk. It's the only walk that Ryan Hare has issued on the mound. He has struck out 5 in an outstanding effort from the UNLV Rebel. Here's the 0-1. Check swing, he did go around. It was a breaking ball low, but Joseph Caraco, an accusatory finger, points it right at Dylan Noisy. He did go around. No balls and 2 strikes. Everyone straight away for Noisy on the infield. Hare rocks and deals. The 0-2 misses high and tight. A ball and 2 strikes here to Noisy. He also has a fly out to Andrew Eister in right field tonight. Hare just looks in over the top of his glove. Both pitchers working quickly. Here's the 1-2 from Hare. Fastball called strike 3. Ryan Hare paints the low and outside portion of the strike zone. Noisy has to saunter back to the dugout of the Mariners, down on strikes. That's number 6 for Ryan Hare on the bump tonight for YD.
Number 36, Chris Galland.
Still even at 1. There's 1 out in the 6th. Base is empty for Chris Gallant. He's hitless today. First pitch fastball. That's a called strike knee-high to Gallant. Hare is placing his pitches right now. Galland is still hitless in the playoffs, 0 for 13 after a .287 regular season. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Tipped it into the glove of Cardenas. No balls and 2 strikes from Hare. 77 pitches for Hare on the night. There is action in the Whitey half of the bullpen. Looks like Carlos Lamelli is up and tossing. Here's the 0-2 from Hare. Fastball misses up, a ball and 2 strikes. That's been pretty on par for Hare. Get ahead early, try to get the chase fastball up in the zone.
Yeah, for most of the time, it's been a little too far up to get a chase, but we'll see what he decides to go with right here. Could be a breaking ball.
The 1-2 spins the batter Galland around in the righty batter's box, misses inside. Almost ticked a piece of the cream-colored uniform of the Mariners. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wind and the 2-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Back-to-back backwards Ks in the 6th. Ryan Hare is dealing on the mound. Neither Noisy or Galland is all that pleased about the strike 3 call, but Hare gets the call from Caraco, and there's 2 down in the 6th.
I mean, hats off to Ryan Hare. This is just stuff we haven't seen yet this season from him. He's placing his pitches, he's working quickly and effectively, and he's an out away from getting through 6 innings.
The wind from Hare. First pitch to Chris Lanzilli. This is inside on the breaking ball.
And there's just one hitter today for Harwich that has done any sort of damage, is Corey Acton. And otherwise, outside of that leadoff walk in the first inning, there's been nothing against Ryan Hare.
The 1-0. Lanzilli hits that one high in the air, deep left field. Wells racing back. The left fielder at the track, settles, and he makes the catch. All the way back to the wall in left center. Chris Lanzilli gave it a ride, but Austin Wells settled and ran it down. 6 scoreless from Ryan Hare on the mound. An outstanding night for him. To the home half, we're even at 1 headed to the 7th. This is Red Sox baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It's the start of the 7th at White House Field in Harwich, Massachusetts. Jack Thomas Wolt, Andrew Eister, and Brad Beasley all set to come to the plate for the Red Sox. 1 run apiece between YD and Harwich tonight in Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series. 8-9-1 for the Sox, and it's a new arm on the mound tonight for the Harwich Mariners. Nick Stewart out of James Madison, the 6'6" righty, set to face the Red Sox order. He's replacing Jacob Polish. Polish, the ace, went 6 innings of 1-run ball tonight for the Mariners. First pitch to Wold. This is upstairs on a fastball for ball 1 from the big righty. Final line from Polish tonight. 6 innings, 6 hits. It was 1 run. It was an earned run. 1 walk, 6 Ks for Polish. He was really good. Ryan Hare has matched him pitch for pitch. 1-0. Wold pops it up on the infield. Lanzilli, the first baseman, trotting towards the bag, and he makes the catch on the soft flyout. Wold jammed on the breaking ball from Stewart, and there's 1 down here in the 7th.
And that's by far the shortest ball that Jack Thomas Wold has hit today. He had the tough matchup, the lefty in the lineup against the left arm of Jacob Polish, who's been carving all season, yet he hit probably the 2 farthest balls of the day for Whitey. They just both happen to be outs.
Now Andrew Eister, the 9-man in the Whitey order, 1 for 2 against Polish. He has scored the only Red Sox run. Stewart from the windup, first pitch to Eister, misses down and outside for ball 1. During the regular season, Stewart started 1 game for the Mariners. He made 8 total appearances for a 4.68 ERA. Did notch 3 saves in the back end of their bullpen. The 1-0 to Eister. Fastball, knee high for a called strike, 1-1. He appeared twice against the Red Sox. He picked up the win in 1 game despite allowing 2 earned runs over 3 1/3. He went 4 innings against the Red Sox in his other appearance, allowing 1 earned run on 4 hits. They've scored off of him in both appearances, but he can go multiple innings out of the pen. 1-1. This is low to Eister, 2 balls and a strike.
And now is the time you're going to want to see a couple hits strung together for Whitey. Yes, 6 hits against Jacob Polish, but no real threat since those middle couple of innings.
Whitey scored their only run back in the 3rd inning. Here's the 2-1 to Eister. Fastball misses low, 3 balls and a strike to Eister. 1 down here in the 7th, bases empty for YD. It's game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series. YD trying to force a game 3 back at home tomorrow. Harwich looking for the sweep. Cotuit has already swept Falmouth in the western side of things. 3-1 to Eister. Skied on the infield, the right side. In foul territory, Lanzilli near the line. He makes the catch. The first baseman about 3/4 of the way towards the first base bag from home plate. And there's 2 down on a couple of pop-outs to first from the Red Sox here in the 7th. Both Wold and Eister pop out. And now it's up to Brad Beasley in the 7th for the Red Sox, trying to break this game that's deadlocked at 1. Beasley hitless today. He's happy to see somebody besides Jacob Polish on the mound. The wind from Stewart. First pitch, fastball down the middle for strike 1. Beasley's 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a flyout to Weimer in right. Lights taking full effect now here in Harwich. Night is falling. The 0-1. Fastball in there again, this time on the inner half to Beasley. No balls and 2 strikes. Harwich looking to become the 3rd team in the last 5 years to win the Cape League Championship with a record of exactly 500. The 0-2 to Beasley. Fastball called strike 3 on the outer edge. Beasley looks at 3 fastballs from Stewart and goes down looking. And the Red Sox go in order in the 7th. It's 1-1 and stretch time here at White House Field. This is Red Sox baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Middle third of the Harwich order coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning. New arm on the mound for YD. Placing Ryan Hare, the redshirt junior out of UNLV. When the Red Sox needed it the most, he delivered his best start of the summer. So Carlos Lamelli, the right-hander out of St. Mary's. First pitch fastball misses away. It's 1-0. Hare will finish his day 6 innings, 2 hits, a run, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. By far his longest and best outing of the summer, 1-0 to Cavadas. Breaking ball from Lamelli misses inside, and it's 2-0. Lamelli's already made an appearance in the playoffs this season. Now, the stats say it was a rough one, but you need to look at the eye test for it otherwise. The 2-0 from Lamelli. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball from Lamelli, cut on and missed by Cavadas, and it's 2-1. So Lamelli fired 3 1/3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen for YD against Orleans in game 1. But then in the 9th inning, a walk, 2 hits, and a hit by pitch from Lamelli as he fires home the 2-1. It misses down and outside, and it's 3-1 on Nico Cavadas. Dangerous spot here for Lamelli. But those 4 runners that reached responsible for all 4 runs that were tagged to Lamelli and didn't really represent how good he was in that outing. The 3-1. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner, and it's full on Cavadas, 3-2. And it looked like he was going to cruise through that 9th inning, but really just stumbled against the Firebirds. Red Sox would come out 7-6 anyways for game 1 of that series win against Orleans. Lamelli gets his sign from Cardenas. The righty winds. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Breaking ball looked like a bit from Lamelli. Might have been the changeup as Cavadas cut through it for the first out of this 7th inning, and Cavadas continues his rough postseason, now 0 for 11 with 7 strikeouts. So Corey Acton, who has both hits for Harwich today, will step to the plate. He singled in the 2nd inning and homered in the 4th. That would tie the game at 1 there in the bottom of the 4th inning, and we've been set at that score ever since. First pitch to the Florida Gator, misses down and inside, and it's 1-0. The only person to do any sort of damage against YD starter Ryan Hare, who allowed just 1 earned run on 2 hits. Lamelli winds, 1-0. Breaking ball inside, it's 2-0. Second straight batter, Lamelli's worked a 2-0 count as Acton is ahead. Entered today, including the postseason, hitting .243. Just 2 for 11, 5 strikeouts in the postseason entry today. 2-0. Misses outside, and it's 3-0. The command invading Lamelli a little bit here early in counts. Noah Campbell shifted over to his left at his second base spot, playing Acton to pull on the ground. 3-0. Outside, ball 4. 4 pitches, 4 balls, and a walk to Corey Acton, who reaches base for the 3rd time today out of the 4 Harwich batters that have reached in total today. So Joey Weimer out of Cincinnati will step in. The right fielder is 0 for 2 with a pair of ground outs. Crunch time in the Cape League playoffs. Bottom 7 here at White House Field. 1-1 score between YD and Harwich. If the Mariners win, they'll advance to face the Catuit Kettleers at Lowell Park tomorrow in Game 1 of the Cape League Championship Series. First pitch from Lamelli. Swing and a swing foul up the first base side. Bangs off the chain link fence, protecting the bleachers on that side. It's 0-1. If YD wins, it's Game 3 tomorrow night at Red Wilson Field. First pitch at 4 o'clock. Weimer digs back in, a tall figure in the righty box. Upright stance. Set from Lamelli, the righty's 0-1. Breaking ball, chopped past the first baseman, Samuelson into right field. Acton round second, he'll chug into third. Weimer a headlong dive into second, he's in there without a throw. 1 out double from Joey Weimer. Advances Acton to third and puts 2 in scoring position for Harwich. In prime position to take the lead, and with that base knock, figures in the Harwich bullpen now up and stirring. And it looks like it'll probably be Joe Boyle who puts on his baseball cap as he stands up, the Harwich closer. But Harwich needs to take the lead first, and they'll count on Pat Winkle, the backstop out of UConn. Weimer on at second, Acton at third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Game 2 between YD and Harwich. The last time the Red Sox dropped Game 1 of a division championship series, as Cardenas out from behind the plate, he's going to have a quick word with Carlos Lamelli. That was back in 2015 against the Orleans Firebirds. Red Sox fell 4-0 to Orleans in Game 1. This was an Orleans team that finished the regular season with 31 wins and 63 points. Some top prospects now currently in big league farm systems. Bobby Dahlback, Kyle Lewis, a couple of them in the Red Sox and Mariners organization respectively on that loaded Orleans team. The last team to break the 60-point threshold in the Cape League. So while he fell in Game 1 at Eldridge Park 4-0, they would come back at home in Game 2 and win on a walk-off wild pitch in 13 innings. and then would travel back to Orleans in Game 3 and win that one by a score of 2-1. But 1-1 our score here in Harwich. Bottom 7, runners on at second and third, and Winkle at the plate. The set from Lamelli, and the right-hander's first pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball at the top of the strike zone gets Winkle to cut through it. It's 0-1. A fly out to left field and a pop out to Cardenas behind the plate. And Winkle's 2 times up. He's 0 for 2. A big spot for Carlos Lamelli as he entered in relief of Ryan Hare in the 7th. Right-hander of the set. The 0-1. Swing and a foul straight back, and it's 0-2.
Infield drawn in here for the Red Sox, but a strikeout would be ideal for Carlos Lamelli. Cardenas has to be ready to block anything behind the plate. Lamelli relies on movement from that sidearm 3/4 arm slot delivery that he has, so Cardenas has to be ready for anything here.
Lamelli sets 0-2. Swing and a fly ball out towards medium depth left field. Austin Wells circling behind it. He'll make the catch. Runner at third tags. Wells up firing. His throw to the plate trickles in on a few hops. It's not in time. Cardenas picks, throws to third. Weimer's in there safely. Sacrifice fly from Pat Winkle gives Harwich a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It wasn't all that deep. Austin Wells in left field got a running start behind it. The throw to the plate, though, was up the first base line a little bit, and it bounced in the infield grass 3 or 4 times, slowing it down. And Harwich takes a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th, and Max Marshak will step to the plate. It's not going to be Marshak, it's going to be Michael Ludwig. The left-handed hitter out of Wake Forest will bat in the spot of Marshak. So a run in for Harwich, 2 outs here in the 7th inning. As Ludwig digs in out of Wake Forest. Native of Ashburn, Virginia, Lamelli a toss over to third. And Weimer back in time. Might have been also to check and make sure that Acton left on time. But it appears he did. And now Pick out of the dugout on the first base side. And we'll see if that'll be it for Lamelli. Pick looking at the Whitey bullpen, makes the signal, and that will do it for the right-hander out of St. Mary's. So just 2/3 of an inning for Carlos Lamelli. He serves up the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. New arm in for the Red Sox out of the bullpen. We'll get him to you on the other side of this break. Harwich takes a 2-1 lead here in the 7th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It'll be the sophomore out of Fresno State, Oscar Carvajal, out of the bullpen for YD, replacing Carlos Lamelli after just 2/3 of an inning. As Lamelli has served up the lead here, or the tie, in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 2-1 Harwich, and Michael Ludwig, left-handed hitter out of Wake Forest, at the plate, replacing Max Marshak. First pitch from Carvajal. Breaking ball nubbed off the end of the bat towards third. Tough play for King. Fields with the glove. Throws to first. It's not in time. Weimer trots down the line at third and scores. So Ludwig swinging at the first pitch breaking ball from Carvajal. Nubs it off the end of the bat. Riley King playing deep at third. Had a tough play in front of him and just couldn't get it to first in time. An infield base hit and another run for Harwich. It's now 3-1.
Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. That's a good job by really everybody. Nobody could have done anything better. For the Red Sox, just Ludwig being out in front, barely getting a piece, rolling it up the third baseline in the absolutely perfect spot.
So Ludwig off of first and Hal Hughes at the plate. Carvajal needs an out to get out of this bottom of the 7th inning. 2 Harwich runs have come across. First pitch to Hughes, swinging a high fly ball. Deep left field. Wells watching that one. Get out of here. First home run of the summer for Hal Hughes. And what a spot for it. First pitch swinging against Oscar Carvajal. Hits it out down the left field line. He knew it. As he watched it, the only question was, would it stay fair? It did, and it's now 5-1 Harwich. Tough spot for the YD bullpen here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 4 runs come across as Ryan Hare exits here in the 7th inning. That's just a tough one for Oscar Carvajal. First home run of the summer for Hal Hughes.
Left one up in the zone. Hal Hughes turned and burned down that left field line.
First pitch to the leadoff man, Dylan Noisy, misses a bit low for ball 1. It's 1-0. But a huge swing, the biggest swing of the season for Hal Hughes. The 1-0 from Carvajal. Swing and a miss. Change up from Oscar. It's 1-1. And Hughes, as he hits it, a couple of hops out of the box from his right field side.
He knew he
trying to
got it.
keep it fair.
Yep.
And it did stay fair. 1-1. The pitch. Breaking ball chopped slowly towards Noah Campbell at second. Noah Fields throws to first. It's in time, and that will retire Noisy. 7 Harwich Mariners come to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning, and 4 of them score. A 4 spot for Harwich makes it 5-1 Mariners. We head to the 8th here at White House Field. 5-1 in Game 2 of this Eastern Division Championship Series between Harwich and YD. Red Sox 6 outs away from being eliminated here in the 2019 Cape League playoffs. We'll head to the 8th. 5-1 Harwich on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Two, three, 4 in the YD lineup. Coming to the plate in the 8th inning, Riley King, Austin Wells, and Tate Samuelson. First pitch breaking ball from Nick Stewart on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. In the blink of an eye, Harwich takes a 5-1 lead into the top of the 8th inning, a 4 spot in the bottom of the 7 for the Mariners. 0-1 to King. Fastball brushes him back as he spins out of the way, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Tight pitching dominated game through 6. And the Whitey bullpen implodes in the bottom of the 7th inning. Carlos Lamelli and Oscar Carvajal. 1-1 fastball right down the middle of the King, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So King, Wells, and Samuelson. 6 outs left for Whitey to scratch across 4 runs to tie and 5 to take the lead. A look in from Stewart, the wind, and the 1-2. Breaking ball fouled out of play over our heads on the first base side of home plate, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. King reached on a walk back in the 5th inning, is 0 for 2. Straight up on the infield and outfield is Harwich for King. Third baseman out of Georgia, 1-2. Fastball, strike 3, called on the outside corner. King, mouth wide open, couldn't believe that was called strike 3. But Joseph Caraco says it was. And King will walk back to the dugout for the first down of this 8th inning.
Reminiscent of the Harwich Mariners a few innings ago when Ryan Hare was painting that same location. It's been a heavy outside corner today, TJ, and the hitters haven't liked it all day long, but nobody's adjusted to this point.
So Stewart winds, first pitch to Austin Wells, swing and a miss, very tardy on the fastball from Stewart. A big guy out of James Madison, 6'6", 215 on the mound. Facing the left-handed Pac-12 freshman of the year, Austin Wells, and the Cape League's most outstanding pro prospect. The 0-1. Fastball called a strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-2. It's been a tough last few games for Austin Wells, including the playoffs. Has a bunt base hit today, 1 for 3. 0-2 from Stewart out of the windup. Fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. This time, no argument from Wells. He'll just turn around and walk back to the dugout on the YD first base side. 3 straight strikeouts for Nick Stewart here in a 2nd inning of work. So Tate Samuelson will stride to the plate with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. First baseman for YD today is 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 3rd inning, the only run batted in for the Red Sox. First pitch, swing and a miss. Tardy on the fastball at the top of the zone, and it's 0-1. A tight game that fell apart in the 7th inning here in Harwich. 5-1 Mariner lead. The 0-1. Swing and a foul back from Samuelson, and it's 0-2. Harwich comes out and takes advantage of Whitey mistakes. 5 errors from the Red Sox in Game 1. Takes that Game 1 5-1, and they're leading 5-1 here in Game 2. Mariners or 4 outs away from going to their first Cape League Championship Series since 2011. 0-2, fouled out of play from Samuelson, and it stays no balls and 2 strikes. It was also the last time Harwich won a Cape League title. In 2011, they won 2 under their head coach Steve Engler in 2008 and 2011.
Something about these teams with 500 records recently, TJ. Whitey in 2015, Brewster in 2017, exactly 500, won the championship.
0-2, fouled back again by Tate, and it stays no balls and 2 strikes. But sometimes, when you just look at a team and how they're playing in the final weekish of the season, sometimes you can just tell.
Yeah.
And we can touch on a little bit more next inning.
Yeah.
But you saw it early.
It was a feeling I had once we saw their pitching at one point and the role players.
0-2 from Stewart. Breaking ball stays high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You look to our entire media team, and not even jokingly, after seeing Harwich is winning.
Yeah, it was just a feeling that I had because they had the stars offensively, but they've had role players contribute. And that's what has happened in these 2 games, role players.
1-2, breaking ball in the dirt, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And another thing the Mariners have working for them is a plethora of arms still. Yeah. Red Sox staff decimated by pitchers hitting their innings limit throughout the season. Harwich, not the same. Team that was 2nd in the league in ERA carries over most of their pitching into the playoffs. The 2-2. Fastball fouled out of play by Samuelson. It stays even at 2-2. And you just saw they're able to save their best arm, Jacob Polish, who hadn't even pitched in the playoffs till Game 2 of the championship series.
Shows the depth of the starting rotation. They might not even have to use their closer, Joe Boyle, tonight, leading by 4. Someone's down there stretching. It might be Big Joe, but This team has so many arms. There's a reason they had the most all-stars of any team in the Cape League.
2-2. Fastball fouled back and out of play. Samuelson has had the fastball of Stewart dialed up here in this at-bat. He keeps spoiling it back. And the count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And yeah, Polish might not have been available for round 1 or even game 1 of this series, but the luxury of having him wait until now and have your team still allow 0, 2, 1, and 1 currently here in 4 games, a total of 4 runs in 4 games in the playoffs. It's just something.
Going to win a lot of ball games.
2-2. Breaking ball fouled, a line drive this time along the first base side, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And some of the best YD runs in the playoffs, I'm going to think back to 2014, the year of Walker Buehler. A big reason why YD took home the first of their 3 straight back in 2014. Buehler had 2 starts in the playoffs that season for YD. His 2 best of the season, the 2-2 to Samuelson. Fastball fouled out of play again as Tate continues this at-bat.
This is about to be pitch number 11 to Tate Samuelson of the at-bat. He's really battling.
He's still locked in there, righty trailing by 4.
He's not done yet either. He thinks his team can come back.
He's been the best hitter in this lineup for YD in the playoffs. Trying to keep them alive here in the 8th inning. Trailing by 4. Stewart looks in. Gets his sign from Winkle. A long stare and now gets it. 2-2. Breaking ball fouled away again by Samuelson. Now 12 pitches. But anyway, Buehler in that 2014 playoff run, 2 starts. The first one, 7 1/3 innings. The first one, 7 1/3. The second one, 8 shutout innings. Just historic stuff. 15 2/3 shutout innings in the playoffs from one guy.
That's unbelievable stuff. You need performances like that to win in the playoffs.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball out to left field on the fastball. Weimer will drift over towards the line, settle underneath it, and make the catch finally on the 13th pitch of this at-bat from Tate Samuelson. He flies out to right field and sets down the Red Sox 1-2-3 here in the 8th inning. We can talk a little bit more about Mr. Buehler in the next half inning. What's the bottom half of the 8th inning? Here from Harwich, it's 5-1 Mariners. 3 defensive outs away from clinching their spot in the Cape League title series. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Merchandise booth. Leading off the
2, 3, and 4 for the Harwich Mariners due to the plate in this bottom half of the 8th inning. Chris Gallen, Chris Lanzilli, and Nico Cavadas, the 3 penciled to come to the plate. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, a 5-1 Harwich lead. Gallen on the day, 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts. Carvajal still on the mound for YD. Fresno State sophomore fires in a first pitch ball. With the breaking ball, it's 1-0. Carvajal came in and tried to get Carlos Lamelli out of a jam in the 7th inning, and instead added on to the damage and ended up being 4 runs for Harwich. 1-0 misses low. It's now 2 balls and no strikes to Gallen. So the final tally on Lamelli, he allowed 2 runs and Carvajal allowed 2 runs. They're in that bottom half of the 7th inning. Bullpen unraveled for YD. 2-0 pitch catches the strike zone. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike. But a tough way for YD. Here with just 3 outs in their top half of the 9th to try and salvage this series. 2-1. Called a strike on the inside corner. It's 2-2 on Chris Galland. Carvajal, with the count even, stares in at Noah Cardenas behind the plate. California native sets right at the belt, the 2-2. Breaking ball skips well out in front of home plate and trickles to the fence right in front of us. Bounces off probably just about to where right of my foot, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Actually, 3 balls and 2 strikes, it says on the scoreboard. Galland digs back in, right-hand hitter out of BC. Carvajal sets. 3-2 from the righty. Fastball chopped foul off the foot of Galland. And we'll do the payoff pitch again, 3-2. And the Red Sox are tasked with doing it against one of the best pitching staffs in the league in Harwich. This comeback, 3.4 ERA in the regular season for Harwich, and have been even better in the playoffs, allowing 1 run a game. Set from Oscar. Righties, 3-2. Payoff pitch misses high, and Galland works the leadoff walk. So Carvajal walks the leadoff batter here in the 8th inning. And now Chris Lanzilli will step to the plate, the first baseman out of Wake Forest.
Number 14, the first baseman.
It's nonetheless a great season for YD. 22-19-3, 3rd place in the Eastern Division. Made it all the way here to the Cape League Championship Series. And I always say pitching does win championships, and Harwich does have an abundance of that. Carvajal peers in at Noah Cardenas as Lanzilli digs in, right-hand hitter. Galland to lead off for first, the team's leader in steals. Showing bunt is Lanzilli, bunts it up the third base side. Carvajal kicks it around a little bit, throws to first, and it's not in time to get Lanzilli. So Lanzilli decides to show bunt, make Carvajal field his position. Carvajal boots it. It kicks away from him. He turns and tries to throw to first, but it's not in time to get Lanzilli, in the first 2 reach here in the 8th inning. A tough play there for Carvajal, and he's unable to make it. And now a pinch runner out for Ludwig, or not Ludwig, Lanzilli. Off the bench for Harwich. We'll see who it is. It's going to be Riley Terrata, former YD Red Sox, infielder out of Dayton. So Terrata will run over at first, chopping it up with his former teammate Tate Samuelson over there at first base. Riley, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Always got a smile on his face. Says Nico Cavanas will dig in. 0 for 3 day for Cavanas. Will extend his playoff 0 for 11. Struck out his last 2 times up.
Lanzilli ended that's a bunt base hit for Lanzilli. So he ends those 2, 3, and 4 hitters 0 for streak with the bunt single.
Galland would have extended his, has extended his to 0 for 14 to start these playoffs as Carvajal turns and fires a throw to second, trying to pick off Galland. Well, he's back in time. Well, Lanzilli reaches now 1 for 15, or 1 for 16, pardon. And Cavanas with his 0 for 11. Big 0 for in the middle of this Harwich lineup. It hasn't mattered, though. This Harwich pitching shaft is shoved. First pitch, breaking ball in the outside corner from Carvajal. And it's 0-1. Galland reached to lead off this inning, leads off of second base. Riley Terrata, the pinch runner, leads off of first. Carvajal looks back at second. Right-hander's 0-1. Breaking ball, catches the inside corner, it's 0-2. Still a very full house here at White House Field for playoff baseball, and the crowd is going to only get bigger with the Cape League Championship Series. Carvajal sets. Right-hander's 0-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Cavana strikes out for the third straight time. Fans on the breaking ball from Carvajal, and there's one down for Oscar here in the 8th inning. And Corey Acton will step in. You'd say it's a double play opportunity, but not the way Acton has been swinging the bat today. He's 2 for 2, a solo home run, a walk, and 2 runs scored. So Gallen on second, Tirana at first. As Acton, left-handed hitter out of Florida, digs in. First pitch from Carvajal. Breaking ball misses down and inside, and it's 1-0. And there's many great points you can look back on in this 2019 season. Trip to Hartford, always a fun one. Red Sox getting red hot in the middle of the season. The 3-home run game from Austin Wells. Walk-off base hit from Andrew Eister against Brewster earlier on in the season. 1-0, swing and a miss from Acton, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. But for most of these guys, it's not about how it finishes, but how you got there. And the showcase that this league is supposed to be doing its job. Carvajal sets a look back at second. 1-1 on its way. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2. But for guys like Austin Wells, able to show off all the tools to the Stouts, winning most outstanding pro prospect in the league. And watch the performance from guys you don't really expect. You come out and you see Ian Seymour leading the league in strikeouts. Performance from John Beller 2 days ago. Just special stuff. 1-2. Set a turn and throw to second. Gallen dives back in time. For a guy, Beller, that started on opening day. With the Red Sox front to close. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Corey Acton. Red Sox and Mariners always play a couple of exhibitions at the beginning of the season. As the 1-2. Fastball misses a bit low and inside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So started the season against each other and might end that way too. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, 5-1 Harwich lead. Runners lead off of first and second. Oscar Carvajal to set right at the bell. Right-handers 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, gets past Cardenas. Acton will be called out at the plate. The runners will advance to second and third. Acton can't advance to first because with less than 2 outs, there's a runner occupying the bag. The runners will both advance the second straight strikeout for Oscar Carvajal here in the 8th inning. There's 2 down, and now Joey Weimer will step to the plate. Weimer doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. The run score. Scored the 3rd run of the game for these Harwich Mariners. Carvajal looking to wiggle out of trouble. The first pitch, swing and a miss. That breaking ball's been working for him here in the last few batters. It's 0-1.
Probably a big batter here with Weimer, just the insurance runs. 4 is a pretty big number, but you're within Grand Slam territory. If you're the Red Sox at this point, you want to stay within that home run range.
Carvajal sets. Right-handers 0-1. Swing and a miss. Again, the breaking ball from Carvajal, and it's 0-2. Wouldn't be shocked if we see that again.
I wouldn't expect him to put it right there, though. That was a pitch to hit, and Weimer just missed it. I expect him to try to bury it. You're right, really good break on it for Carvajal, but he can't leave another one over the middle like that, or Weimer can do some damage.
Weimer just 1 home run on the season, but a big guy standing in the righty box with the upright stance. 0-2. Fastball outside. Cardenas tries to backpick to third. Gallen scoots back without a slide. He counts 1 ball and 2 strikes on Weimer. 5-1 Harwich here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series between the Mariners and the Red Sox. Harwich 3 outs away in the top of the 9th from advancing to the next round. 1-2. Fastball lofted out to shallow right field. In chasing is Andrew Eister. He tracks it down and makes the catch, and that will be the 3rd out of this 8th inning. So Carvajal allows 2 runners to reach to start the inning, but then retires 3 straight on a pair of strikeouts and a fly out to right. Went to the 9th inning. Do or die time for the Red Sox. It'll be Noah Campbell, Wyatt Young, and Noah Cardenas coming to the plate in the 9th inning. Red Sox trail by 4 here in Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Campbell, Young, Cardenas. The last chance for YD here in this 2019 season. Trailing by 4 here in the top of the 9th inning. It's still Nick Stewart on the mound for Harwich. Third inning of work for the righty out of James Madison. First pitch fastball to Campbell. A switch hitter batting left-handed watches ball one skip outside, and it's 1-0. Campbell an 0 for 3 day with a strikeout. His last time up in the 6th. 1-0. Fastball called a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 4-run bottom of the 7th inning. This exclamation point in this game for the Harwich Mariners. Just enough to push them in front of YD. Need 3 more outs. 1-1 called a strike. Breaking ball in the outside corner. It's 1-2. And this Harwich pitching staff here in 4 playoff games have come out and proved why they are probably the best staff in the league. Nick Stewart, the 6'6 right-hander, out of the windup, the 1-2. Breaking ball, misses high and outside. Winkle tried to bring it back into the strike zone, but Caraco behind the plate said that's outside and a bit high. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Campbell. Digs back into the lefty box, the 2-2. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Campbell cuts through a fastball in the inner half, and he strikes out for perhaps the final time in his YD career. What a career here in Wyatt. For the Red Sox it's been for Campbell. A couple of excellent summers up here on the Cape. The 2nd and 4th leading hitters in both of his seasons. 2nd last year, 4th this year, or 5th this year. Behind this man, Wyatt Young at the plate. A 2 for 3 day for Young. Back in the lineup after dealing with a bit of a groin issue. The first pitch to Young. Breaking ball misses away, and it's 1-0.
Tough way for Noah Campbell to go out after a historic 2 years here for the YD Red Sox. It's just been the way things have gone tonight for YD. This Harwich staff is going to get a lot of outs.
1-0. Breaking ball stays high to Young, and it's now 2-0.
If they hang on here, then it's going to be having shut down probably the best lineup in the Eastern Division. Katuitt, maybe the best lineup in the West. That'll be quite the matchup if, indeed, Harwich holds on to finish off YD.
2-0 on its way. Swinging a ground ball right side of the infield past the new first baseman, Cavanis. Fielding is the second baseman. Corey Acton throws to the pitcher, Stewart covering the bag, and it's in time. Pretty play from the Harwich defense. Cavanis moved from 3rd to 1st after Lanzilli exited in the bottom half of the 8th. Riley Terada took his place at 3rd. Cavanis couldn't range over and get that one at 1st to his right, but Corey Acton showed off the range to his left, went way over in the hole, fielded, and threw to Stewart. They're covering the bag for the 2nd out of this 9th inning, and YD is down to their final out. And it's going to be Noah Cardenas, the freshman out of UCLA. Stewart is set, and the first pitch. Breaking ball, fouled out of play. Off to the first base side, it's 0-1. 1 for 2 day for Cardenas. He singled in the 2nd and flew out to right in the 6th and was also hit by a pitch. Stewart a look in at Winkle. Gets the sign he likes, the righty's 0-1. Fastball lined foul off the YD dugout, and it is 0-2, and YD is down to their final stride. The fans here at White House Field starting to clap. The Harwich Mariners a strike away from advancing to the the Cape League Championship Series against Katuitt. Cardenas will dig back in, the right-hand hitter. Behind the plate today for YD. Stewart a shake off of Winkle. Gets the sign he wants, winds. 0-2. Fastball chopped foul on the first base side, and YD stays alive. Another pitch.
Emergency hack from Cardenas. He was looking off speed, gets the fastball, just chops it last second foul, and he gets another pitch.
Good crowd here at White House Field again, clapping their hands together. No balls, 2 strikes to Nick Stewart, or to Noah Cardenas from Nick Stewart. The righty wants the pitch. Fastball fouled out of play again. Cardenas not going down without a fight, and the count stays no balls and 2 strikes. Harwich's last time in the Cape League title was in 2011. They would win. No balls and 2 strikes here to Noah Cardenas. Pinwheels the bat once, taps his bat on home plate, now brings it back up. Will tap his bat again. Right-hander out of James Madison. Nick Stewart rocks, fires the 0-2. Swinging a chopper towards first. Cavadas has it. He'll step on the pillow, and that will do it here in the 2019 Cape League season for YD. The final here from White House Field, the Harwich Mariners 5 and the YD Red Sox 1. 5 runs on 6 hits for Harwich, but that was all they would need from a dominant performance again from this Harwich pitching staff. The combination of Jacob Polish and Nick Stewart combining to shut down the YD Red Sox lineup here at White House Field in Game 2. A tough loss for YD. We'll step aside and come back and wrap it all up for you. On the other side of this break, YD falls 5-1 here in Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series here at White House Field. We'll step aside and be right back here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Final here from White House Field in Harwich. YD eliminated in the second round of the 2019 Cape League playoffs by the Harwich Mariners. A quick and efficient 2-1 sweeps, a pair of 5-1 losses to Harwich, and where the YD bats just unable to capitalize against this top-ranked Harwich pitching staff. TJ Mathewson and Brian McLaughlin here with you post-game. Brian, entering today, Andre Sims with us as well. We'll get to him in a second, but Brian, today we look at the pitching matchup of Jacob Polish and Ryan Hare, a couple of guys that really went at it today, a pair of 6-inning outings, both allowing just 1 run. And we're, coming into this, Ryan Hare with just 4 total innings on the summer, four being his longest outing of the summer, coming out here today, his best start in the summer when YD needed it the most.
He showed up today when YD needed it, and their starting pitchers all playoffs have showed up. When they've lost, it has been about not doing the little things right. Today it was the bullpen couldn't slam the door. We thought that might be the biggest weak link for YD entering the playoffs was the bullpen. 2 days before in Game 1, it was the offense not driving runners in when they were on base and the defense, but tonight it was the bullpen for YD that couldn't quite close the door in their final game of the season. But Ryan Hare was spectacular. 6 innings pitched. You could not have asked for better from Ryan Hare. He deserves a round of applause. He pitched his heart out. So did John Beller in Game 1. Those two put YD in chances to win, and they just couldn't quite get the job done at the end of the night in either game.
So Jacob Polish, as advertised tonight,
yes.
6 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Coming out here, expected to get the Game 5-2 win for Harwich, and man, did he ever, and he was looking sharp today.
Yeah, I mean, he might have gotten outdueled by Ryan Hare, but still, 6 innings pitched, only 1 earned run. He was able to scatter the hits. Never, YD looked comfortable for times, but they never were able to get anything going that resulted in a big inning. He did a great job of keeping YD from the crooked numbers, which is what YD's done all season long, putting up crooked numbers out of nowhere, and so that's what made him so special tonight. He was, like you said, good as advertised. That's a great pitcher. He might be available for Game 3 of the championship series. You never know against Katuitt if they need him.
Just have to see if it gets to that point. We're now going to bring on the third member of our broadcast crew.
Hey,
Been with
guys.
us the whole time, Andre Sims. Welcome in, Andre. And so now, away from this game, we're going to just go whole summer in general, both of you. First years with YD. It always a fun one for YD here in the playoffs. Seeing a series win and just a fun time. Andre, I know you're feeling a little bit under the weather today.
Just a bit.
But in terms for me, I've been through this once. You have as well, a few seasons ago with Wareham. But a fun summer nonetheless, and really just special stuff, making all these memories you'll remember forever.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you think about something like this, it's 44 games plus the playoffs in a little under 2 months, and it felt a lot quicker because we were playing so many days in a row, considering the fact that we had 8 million rainouts to start the year. But, you know, I think when I look at this summer, I will think about those moments, like spent with all of us in the press box. We're all getting fired up over this team. Like the walk-off against Brewster right before the All-Star game when everyone was super fired up. You guys were on the call. I did the interview afterwards. Moments like that, those are the things you can't take away. You're going to look back and be like, man, 10 years from now, you remember that walk-off against Brewster? We're going to be meeting up somewhere, wherever the hell it is, and we're going to be talking about these moments like that, and it's just great.
And, Brian, for you, the same question. It's just been so much fun up here on the Cape League for you, your first summer here, and it's spectacle to watch.
Summer ball is always so special, but it's a little bit different here on the Cape, TJ, and I think that you just see that when the quality of baseball with the players, the coaches, it's been a special summer. Like Andre said, so many moments baseball-wise, but I think everybody involved with these teams, it's more about the people involved and all that fun stuff that makes it a special summer, but really great summer baseball-wise. Couldn't have asked for a better place with the YD Red Sox, and unfortunate that this run falls just a bit shy here in the Eastern Division Finals, but at the same time, this is a really great group of guys with the team, a great media team to be a part of. It's been a fun summer for me for sure. Learned a lot and had a really good time.
Well, we would first like to thank all of our listeners. We wouldn't do this without you guys tuning in wherever you're listening from.
Of course.
We do this for you guys, so we thank all of you for tuning in. It couldn't have been a better media team to spend it with as well.
Yeah,
I will reiterate that.
What stands out for you? I know you were here last summer, TJ, with our friends Brandon Pelter and Dana Gray, but what stands out to you from this summer and your experience on the Cape as a whole?
So it just makes you put things into perspective. You just get to see the growth of these players from when they're on the Cape, and then I get to see them in a season at school with the metal bat and just see their growth, and then now many of them in professional organizations, and that just makes it even more cool to say, hey, wow, I saw that guy last summer up here playing on these high school fields up here in Cape Cod, and it's going to be exciting to follow it along, and really just having two different great groups of interns to hang out with and make these summers so much fun, and the players too. It makes it just that much better if it can all work out, and we really couldn't have done it without this whole intern team, which really did a great job all summer.
Yeah, great job for everybody involved, from those who came on the broadcast to those who were never on with any of us. It's been a great summer, and couldn't have asked for a better group of people to do it with. It's been a lot of fun.
So we thank all you listeners. We got to thank our general manager here at YD, Steve Fosher. Could not do any of this without him. He chose all of us here, and that's why we're all here. So, one last time, we'll run over the finals here from Harwich. 5-1, Red Sox fall Game 2 of the Eastern Division Championship Series, swept by the Harwich Mariners, who will face Katuitt in Game 1 here at White House Field. So, for all of our intern team, for our broadcast team, Andre Sims, Brian McLaughlin, our scout liaison, and occasional broadcast appearance, Alex Chapman, our videographer, Isaac Feldman, who's not here at the field with us today, but Dylan Percaro, one of our writers, Alexis Still, our other writer, and everyone else who is listening in to these YD broadcasts.
Nat Reed, our
Nat,
photographer,
I'm missing Nat. She's
and our
away.
social media manager.
She's away. Didn't see her. But yeah, Nat does a fantastic job. But anyway, so one last time here from White House Field for all of us here at YD, I'm TJ Mathewson saying so long and good night one last time here on Cape Cod.